The dawning of a new era in Iowa football, and an empty stadium begins to come to life. And now you are looking live at Kinnick Stadium in Iowa City, Iowa, where the amazing Hawkeyes are only 2 victories away from going to Pasadena and the Rose Bowl on New Year's Day. But standing in their way, their longtime nemesis from Columbus, Ohio, the Ohio State Buckeyes. It's a gorgeous November Saturday. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. Along with Mark Jones and Dick Vermeil, I'm Brent Musburger. Nice to have you along with us on this Saturday afternoon. And Dick Vermeil, it is unbelievable. The Hawkeyes, for the first time in their history, are 5-0 in the Big Ten. How did they suddenly become the surprise team of the country?
Well, Brent, last year they were a young team and the first Iowa team that hadn't been in a bowl in 9 years, and they were embarrassed. But they were also motivated. They invested a lot of time in their off-season program. They had a great spring practice. So they won their first 2 ball games. Then they went to Miami and took on a tough nationally ranked Miami team and played them tough. Even though they lost, they came out of the game believing they could win, and they've been winning ever since.
But the history book tells us the Hawkeyes better not look past the Buckeyes.
I know it. I'll tell you this. The Ohio State team we're going to see play today is a much better team than the one we saw play earlier in the year. They are averaging 47 points a game over the last 3 weeks, and I'll tell you, better definition of purpose in everything they're doing.
Dick, it's a busy day in college football. We're going to be checking in with Roger Twibell right after these messages from our ABC stations.
Dick are up right after this.
Iowa and Ohio State, and one of our quarterbacks today is going to resemble Darth Vader, but Mark Jones, not the one we were expecting, is it?
That's right, Brent. You know, Ohio State quarterback Greg Fry says that he won't be wearing the visor because of visibility problems that he's been having the last couple of weeks. Instead, Iowa's Matt Rogers will be the only guy looking like Darth Vader today. You know, sure, you may look like Darth Vader, but wearing this visor gives quarterbacks an edge. Let me show you exactly what I mean. The quarterback has this thing on. It is tough for defenders to read the quarterback's eyes. See, right now I'm looking to my right, and now to my left, and right now I'm looking right at you. Interesting to note that Matt Rogers is 7-0 in games that he has started with this visor on. Dick, how do I look? You think you make a player out of me or what?
I don't think you can take a hit. You better get it off.
All right, and we will see Darth Rogers at the start of this game because the Buckeyes with Tim Williams will kick it off. Ohio State won the coin flip and deferred, so they'll get the ball to start the second half. There's the return men for the Hawkeyes. Number 3, Hughes, and number 1, Antula. Hard to believe that this is a November Saturday in Iowa City. Usually overcast, gray skies, but what a glorious day. Deep into the end zone, it'll be down for the touchback, and Rogers will bring the offense to the line of scrimmage for the Big Ten Conference leading Hawkeyes with 9 touchdowns and 8 interceptions on the year. The big fella behind him, 235-pound Nick Bell, number 43. He destroyed Illinois. Mike Devlin anchors an improving offensive line. What about the game plan for the Hawkeyes here today, Coach?
Well, they want to attack them up inside, Carl Jackson said. They want to attack them inside, establish a short passing game, both drop back and play action, and then they want to misdirect them with reverses.
The tight end stands up in the Iowa formation. Hughes comes in motion, and Rogers on first down, throws to Smith on the outside, caught at the 28-yard line. Defensively, for the Buckeyes here against Iowa, Alonzo Spellman, only a sophomore, number 99. He must have a huge day. But the key man is number 58, Steve Tovar. He'll be taking on Bell throughout the afternoon. Vinnie Clark, he's the interception leader in that secondary. Number 7, the standout cornerback for John Cooper and the Buckeyes. 2nd and 2 for Iowa. Ball out at the 28-yard line. First possession of the game, double tight end, both stand up, and here's Hughes to throw it. Razzle dazzle, going long, and it is complete. Michael Titley, the tight end.
Leave it to Coach Fry to start out with something dazzling. Man in motion, he tosses it. Now he reverses back around. Nice fake. He has the ball in his hand. Danon Hughes fires the pass. There it is. He was a high school quarterback part of the time. Accurate throw, completed pass, first down.
35 yards for the Hawkeyes, and the first down into Buckeye territory at the 37-yard line. Now it'll be Bell's first carry. He battles his way to the 35-yard line before Rich Frimmel brings him down. The fake was beautiful. Bell went up over the top on that play and attracted Tovar.
Well, you'll see, taking a look from the end zone, what this does to the linebackers. It really attracts the crowd.
Iowa, 5 consecutive scoring possessions in Champaign. What an amazing road team they've been. Rogers with a changeup at the line of scrimmage sends Smith out even further to his left. He'll throw again. The underneath man is Bell, and he's to the 29-yard line. This will leave Iowa with a 3rd and 2. Ball at the Buckeye 29-yard line, the opening possession.
What you can see, the linebacker was back inside here, and he just wanted to get the back right out here on an audible and drop him the football and then make the smaller people tackle the big running back. 243 pounds, as Brent said. Now they have to come up and get him down.
Paul Kiowa, the fullback, he is in front of Bell in the eye. They go to Bell for the first down. Steve Tovar, number 58, the leading tackler for the Buckeyes, bringing him down.
Steve Tovar is their leading tackler. He's a fine football player. You'll see they're going to attack him inside as the game plan dictates. Trap blocking up inside, 240 pounds, just muscling straight ahead. He's going to need help at the point of attack to stop that guy on the line of scrimmage. And Tovar is one of those kind of guys that can do it. An intense football player, just a sophomore, great future.
Opening possession, Hawkeyes with a first down at the Ohio State 24-yard line. And on first down, Rogers to fire, complete again to the 16-yard line. John Falloon, defended by Benny Clark. There is a penalty marker on that far side. Our referee today is Ron Winter. Got him in the head.
Made contact with the head. You can't do that. No doubt it was not intentional. Following now Danon Hughes, number 3, as he goes in motion. He goes up. He closes the defense off inside. Prevents him from getting outside underneath the out pattern. He gets it. There's the hit in the head.
The rest of the Winter crew working here today. Jim Augustine is our umpire. Over on that far side, Don Bauer. So with the penalty assessed against John Cooper's Buckeyes, the ball is placed at the Ohio State 8-yard line. It is first and goal. Rogers is 3 of 3 for 22 yards. On one of the scoring plays against Illinois, the halfback threw the ball last week. Here it'll be Bell, and he makes his way to the 3-yard line before Spellman can bring him down. Another fine job by that offensive line, Coach.
Well, big Greg Agatar right here pulled over at the point of attack, got a nice block, and Bell was able to run up inside him. Now you see the big Agatar pulling. He gets the kickout block. There's the hole. He didn't maintain that block. Good defensive reaction by Spellman.
Second down and goal. From behind the Ohio State defense, looking at Rogers, coming up to the line. And with 5 seconds left on the 25-second clock, Iowa uses a timeout. Rogers will come over to the coaching staff. We'll take a break and then come right back. The Hawkeyes with a second and goal against Ohio State, Coach Vermeil.
Well, they've been very efficient in this part of the field inside the red zone. 47 possessions scored, 32 touchdowns, a good percentage. That's why they're winning.
Double tight end. Bell behind Kiowa. A personnel problem led to that timeout. Rogers will keep it down there. His 7th touchdown of the season. And Iowa strikes with its first at bat against Ohio State here this afternoon.
Well, you don't have to worry about where the quarterback's looking right now. He knows what he's going to do. Reverse pivot, make a strong fake, and then just follows right up inside on big Scott Davis's block, the offensive left tackle.
Jeff Skillett attempting the extra point. And the Hawkeyes take a quick lead. 11 minutes and 12 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Rogers and Iowa are ahead of Ohio State 7-0. To go 6-0 in the Big Ten. Skillett, after their touchdown, kicks it off. And it'll be Dante Lee, and finally it is Smith, and then Dante Lee. Confusion with the two returners, and they are down at the 8-yard line. Tough field position for the Buckeyes. Well, here's the key play of their scoring drive, Dick.
Well, that was that razzle-dazzle. You're going to see this now from the end zone. Note that the tight ends right here are in a standing position. They play like that in the entire game. They're the only school that does that. Here's man in motion. All right, now follow the actions. The quarterback makes a strong fake, hides the ball, flips it out there. Now, there he goes. Danon Hughes throws it down there. Again, Danon Hughes used to be a quarterback. Completed pass, big play.
Ohio State's opening play from scrimmage. Double tight end. One running back is Smith. Sprint draw is quickly shown out of this. Penalty flag down, and Smith works his way to the 13-yard line. But the line judge throwing the penalty flag on the near side of the field.
Offside. You know, the amazing thing about Iowa, prior to last week's game, they'd only scored 16 points in the first quarter, and they scored 21 last week in the first quarter, and now they have 7 in the first quarter.
Behind Greg Fry, keep an eye on number 84, their flanker, Jeff Graham, one of the best big play men in the country. Jeff Ellis, number 89, is returning for Ohio State. The coaches do not know how long he will be able to play today, coming off an injured ankle. John Cooper needs his talented tight end in this offense. It is 1st and 5 after the offsides penalty is marched off. Graham into the backfield with Robert Smith. Smith behind Graham on the load block, and he's to the 15-yard line against this Hawkeye defense, which has been extremely efficient against Big Ten opponents. Leroy Smith, number 8. He allows the 11 base players to stay there, and he'll drop off and actually work as a nickel man in some situations. Two very talented inside linebackers, 31 and 66, make a lot of tackles. Merton Hanks, number 45, is a big-time cornerback for Hayden Fry. 2nd down, and about 2.5 yards to go for the first down. Scotty Graham gets the first down for Ohio State on his forward progress, with Melvin Foster, the leading tackler for the Hawkeyes, bringing him down.
Well, Jimmy Coletto, the fine offensive coordinator for Ohio State's game plan is, number one, they want to loosen them up on first down by throwing the ball downfield. Now, they're not in great field position to start out doing that. Then they want to use misdirection to slow down the great pursuit of Iowa. Then they want to vary formation, shift the tight end around, and use a lot of motion, break definition.
Dick, some would say they have done this against a soft schedule.
Well, I'll tell you this, playing soft schedule or not, I think your football team really improves being able to execute your offense in game situations like that. They get better.
Fry trying to be heard. Remember, under the new rule, the outside receivers do not have to hear the count. This is Robert Smith, the talented freshman, blasting his way to the 22-yard line. And again, number 66, Melvin Foster is there.
Ohio State is great at just wanting to run the lead the fullback, run the eye up inside, find a place to run. Now see him right there, fullback kicking out. Now he cuts back early. He sees the line slants, reads it nicely, gets a couple yards.
2nd and 8. Fry at the fake. Under pressure, sacked at the 11-yard line by Jim Johnson, number 71. Tremendous performance by the defensive tackles for the Hawkeyes.
Jim Johnson's coming from right here at defensive tackle. Very fine football player. Last year he led the Big Ten both in sacks in tackles for a loss, and you can see why. He has good quickness. He makes a good outside move. That offensive tackle's got to get a better jam on him if he's going to prevent that.
3rd and 16. Smith sweeping to the left, and the Buckeyes are forced to punt. Jeff Bowman, who has had 2 punts blocked this year, and listen to this crowd.
They have tremendous support here in Iowa. They visited a breakfast for the alums the other morning. 650 people eating breakfast to get ready for the game. Listen to Hayden Fry speak at 6 o'clock in the morning. Can you believe that?
Jeff Antula set to
Low
return.
punt.
It's a returnable punt. It's low. He's got it on the run at midfield. 45, and he's down there at the 46-yard line. Well, what a difference a year has made for the Hawkeyes. They put in natural grass a year ago, and at home, they were winless in the Big Ten. 0-4 against those 4 schools. This year, a tougher schedule. They had to be road warriors, and yet they have gone to East Lansing, they've gone to Ann Arbor, they've gone to Champaign, and they have prevailed in all 3 sites. And no school in the Big Ten has ever beaten those 3 teams and Ohio State in the same season. Now the Hawkeyes with a chance, and Rogers, leading by 7, brings his team up 1st and 10. Ball at the 46-yard line. Bell bounces outside and then battles for a good 4 yards. Great effort by the young man from Las Vegas, Nevada.
You know, Alonzo Spellman, the sophomore defensive lineman, number 99, really did a nice job of stacking that up. You'll see that coming from the end zone right over here. Watch this big young man over there in a 3-point stance. He stacks it up. He sheds that block, takes on the next blocker, and he pushes it right outside and then ends up on the tackle himself. Good job, Alonzo.
Number 99. What a future he has.
Oh, you bet. I'm going to be his agent.
2nd down for Iowa, the fullback. Fumble! Fumble! Ohio State thinks they have it, and they do. Buckeyes recover. And that was Falk getting up with the ball. Number 22, Foster Falk, after Jim Peel peeled it off.
Let's take a look at the fumble. This team came into the ball game the best takeaway team and gave it away less. They had the balance of coming into this ball game as +8. Sometimes that balances out in one game, Brent. You can end up being minus. It's a matter of luck over a period of years. You normally, over a period of years, end up even.
That's the first time this year that a running back from Iowa has turned the ball over from scrimmage in a Big Ten conference game. Absolutely amazing. But percentages, law of averages, call it what you will, it'll catch you sooner or later. Now it is Fry with a change-up at the line of scrimmage for the Buckeyes, and Ohio State down by 7. Smith again, no daylight.
Oh, great defensive play by Leroy Smith, Brent. That's the guy you were talking about earlier. They leave in and he plays the nickel back. Good speed. They think in pro football he'll end up being a safety because he's only 6'2", 214 pounds.
Butler Benote checks into the Ohio State backfield. Second down and 9.
They are all over us with...
A few weeks ago, he took that visor off his helmet. Benote smashes his way to the 42-yard line, where it will be 3rd down for Ohio State. Nothing coming easy for the Buckeyes, Coach.
No, this defensive front, you know, they've been very good against the run all year. They've only given up 114 yards a game against the run, and that's very solid defense. And you can see why as you watch them play. You can really see why as they humiliated Illinois last week. Good physical play on the line of scrimmage.
2 very talented wide receivers, Bobby Olive and Jeff Graham, and they need to get them involved in this game. Fry will look in Graham's direction. It's deflected by number 31, John Derby. He tried to pick Jeff Graham up on that quick slant, and Derby read it beautifully.
Here he is. He's going to come in a slant pattern. Pants comes in. Actually comes in a little too flat. Ball thrown behind him because it was deflected by John Derby, number 31. John has done that a few times in his career. He's made 128 tackles.
Buckeyes stymied again. Bowman will punt. And Antula back deep. Antula averaging 19 yards in return.
Nice punt. Nice punt.
Drives him back inside the 5-yard line. Great punt by Antula, and he makes his way to the 21 with a penalty flag flying. A 16-yard return after a 54-yard punt, but a penalty marker is down.
Flipping.
Iowa leads it by 7, but they are making mistakes. They've turned the ball over on a fumble, and now they clip on a punt return. I'll be right back.
The Accord Coupe from Honda. You have to drive it to believe it.
If you loved it,
You were the best assignment I ever had.
you can own it.
Clever girl.
If you never saw it,
Why, is he gonna have a wild time?
don't blow it. Because the summer's greatest adventure
Fasten your seatbelt.
is this season's hottest video cassette. Arnold Schwarzenegger,
You got a lot of nerve showing your face around here.
Look who's talking.
Total Recall. Get your video today.
Don't let me down.
Just $24.99.
This year, thousands of people will protect their homes with pure white, non-combustible InsulSafe 3 fiberglass insulation. Others won't. Some will help make their homes more energy efficient. Others won't. Some will make their homes more comfortable all year long. Others will be sorry they didn't. Call your insulation contractor now and insulate safely with InsulSafe 3 for all the comfort of home.
Dick Vermeil and Mark Jones. I'm Brent Musburger. Iowa with the ball and a 7-point lead on Ohio State. 70,000 in attendance on this beautiful Saturday afternoon here in Kinnick Stadium. Rogers has rushed for a touchdown today as he brings the Hawkeyes to the line of scrimmage. Basic I formation with the stand-up tight end. Bell, the I back, makes his way close to the 15-yard line. Let's check in with Roger Twibell and get an update. Raj?
Thank you very much, Brent. First possession for Virginia at Chapel Hill against North Carolina, and it will be Moore to Moore. 13 yards on the touchdown pass. Sean Moore's 20th touchdown pass of the year. 12 of those have gone to Herman. North Carolina has kicked the field goal 7-3 in the first quarter. And a Big Ten score for you. Michigan has jumped out on top of Illinois, Brent, 3-0. That in the first quarter.
Roger, thank you very much. Iowa leading here 7-0. Rogers back to throw under pressure, and it was the middle of that defense led by Greg Smith, the nose man, and they bring him down.
Greg Smith is centered up as a nose guard on Mike Devlin, the fine offensive center. Here he is here battling with the offensive center. Very quick young man. He was a walk-on. He did not come to school with a scholarship. He earned his scholarship. He is also an all Big Ten honor student. Fine young man doing a heck of a job on that play right there. Getting pressure on the quarterback. Helping him out was Rich Frimmel, number 90.
Third down and 10. On the draw play, Bell makes a slick move and gets to the 16, but this will force an Iowa punt.
Take a look at the fullback as he leads Bell on the draw play. See, he sets there. There goes Fugawa, number 23. He gets the block right there. Bell uses that block, gets up there. He slips right there as he tries to make the hard cutback. But Paul Kuwawa is only 212 pounds, blocking for a 245-pound running back.
Graham set to return Isaac's punt, but there's movement down in that line. A 5-yard penalty against Ohio State would be very close to a first down, but let's wait for Winter to sort this out.
It's going to be a first down. That's not smart football, guys. Control your intensity. Use it to help you.
Fry gets a break.
Bill Young, the defensive coordinator for Ohio State, said the number one thing they had to do to win the ball game today was to eliminate Fry's big plays in their offense and then create the turnover. He's done one of those two things.
They have to bring the chains out. That's how close it is. It was just about 4th and 5. So it's going to be a very, very close measurement here to determine whether or not the Hawkeyes retain possession or the punt team will stay on the field. They missed it by that much.
All right, now I'll tell you this is on the 20-yard line, but you better be wide awake with Coach Fry. No, I know he shouldn't, but I'll tell you this, he is something.
I love the Fox myself.
I know it, but he's
not on your own 20.
Well, he says he calls. I ask him how you call plays. He says, "Well, I just sort of scratch where it itches."
You know what Hayden's thinking? How did I wind up with a referee who had small feet? Isaac back onto the field. Now this could give Ohio State tremendous field position. They've got a very dangerous punt returner.
Look at that. Nice punts, got it up there nicely. Good hang time. They'll have to fair catch.
Going to fair catch it at the 41-yard line. Well, there's a different look with Hayden Fry down on that Iowa sideline. No mustache this year. Mark Jones had an opportunity to ask the coach, how come you shaved off the stash, Coach?
Well, we'd been to 8 consecutive bowl games, and the first time I grew the mustache at the University of Iowa, we went to the Rose Bowl, and I figured it was my good luck piece. When we didn't go to a bowl game last year, I said, the heck with the mustache, we'll just make our own luck.
What did your wife say?
My wife said, hallelujah.
Coach, I think you even look younger without it. Here's Greg Fry at Ohio State, trailing Iowa 7-0 right now, bringing Graham down in motion, and he's going to try to put it up on first down. He's got Graham into Iowa territory and out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Dick, you told me that number 84 is one of the more dangerous wide receivers in the Big Ten.
Yes, he is. The NFL people really like him. They use play action to freeze people underneath the coverage. They like to run the deep square-in patterns, and you'll see as the play action, it'll freeze the linebackers. It looks run. They do a good job. He steps away from the pressure. He throws that square-in pattern. Now, I was told that they were going to try to eyeball those square-in patterns with the linebackers and then turn and follow them. They didn't do it that time.
Greg Fry has Butler and Finote at tailback. Scotty Graham, the fullback, smashes ahead for a yard or two before number 57, Matt Rulin, defensive tackle, brings him down as the Wolverines cling to that 3-0 lead over Illinois. You were shocked last week when the score from Illinois began to roll in when we were covering the Washington Huskies against Arizona.
Well, if you remember back, we broadcast the Illinois-Colorado game, and Illinois dominated the game, and we just didn't see how anyone could dominate them.
That's coming up next. You'll get a chance to check out the Huskies, now ranked number 2, and just a Tennessee victory away from perhaps climbing to number 1. If the Huskies beat UCLA and Tennessee defeats Notre Dame, and Tennessee is favored by a field goal today, as we check and see that Moses Santos, number 99, is down on the field.
Moses Santos, number 99, in the middle of your screen. He's getting his left leg trapped underneath him right there. Now, he had an injury last year and missed 5 games. I don't know if it's the same injury.
One of the things that had helped fuel the success of the Hawkeyes was their ability to avoid injuries. So while they tend to him down there, we've been talking about the Rose Bowl, and this state is all excited. And Mark Jones, it's really some fever here in Iowa, isn't it?
Brent, I'm telling you, you cannot tell anybody in the state of Iowa that Iowa is not going to the Rose Bowl. Look at this T-shirt. It's the hottest selling item in the city right now. And you know what? Sure, they may be a little bit premature, but if they don't end up going to the Rose Bowl, it'll end up as maybe a duster for the dining table. This is how popular it is.
Oh, yes. Does that go on the expense account, Mark? Santos going to be all right. He'll have to come out for at least a play. to be replaced by Crane. Maurier Crane, number 88, will come in for 99 defensively for the Hawkeyes.
He's a redshirt freshman, a talented athlete, Maurier Crane. He was a state shot put champion, 60 foot 6 inches. That shows pretty good athletic ability.
Coach, this is the best penetration by Ohio State so far today. They have reached the Hawkeye 34-yard line.
Play action fake.
Run over the middle, diving catch by All-In.
I think he caught it.
What a splendid catch at the 16-yard line for another Ohio State first down.
We're going to take a look at Ollie. This string being at 6'1", 185 pounds. He's going to come down and run the deep square in. They love this pattern. Play action, coverage from the outside, no help underneath, and he goes down. See what he did? He took his pads to the ball. That's how you catch the low ball. Don't bend at the waist. Take your pads all the way down there and scoop it up. Good job, Bobby.
17-yard gain, first and 10 at the Hawkeye 16. Benote continues to operate at I-back. Fry working against the crowd noise, changes up at the line, and he'll use Benote behind the left side of the line. He blasts his way to the 13-yard line and into the arms of number 57, Matt Rulin.
I like that, Matt Rulin. He's very physical at the point of attack. You do not knock him off the ball. Now, this year they've changed their defensive play just a little bit with a new defensive line coach in Ted Gill. They're controlling the line of scrimmage and freeing those linebackers up to run just a little more.
Graham are the wide receivers. Hawkeye defensive backs.
Looks like dog coverage to me.
Are up tight.
Yeah, they're
4
coming.
yards off of them, and they pitch to Benote in a foot race out of bounds at the 5-yard line, and that would give Ohio State a first and goal.
You heard me mention it looks like dog coverage. From the press box, what I was talking about is that the coverage people were lined up tight. Here's a coverage man's much tighter. These people were going to come, they get good pressure on them, they're running the option. Had one-on-one coverage, here comes the dog, he flips it out there quickly, did a nice job.
William Houston, a load, checks in at fullback. He's in front of Benote. First and goal, Ohio State. Benote behind Houston to the 1-yard line, and it'll be second and goal for the Buckeyes.
Really a good block there by the lead fullback that time to help him keep moving the ball toward that line of scrimmage. If you're going to ISO, by gosh, you better have a fullback that can go up in there and ISO. By ISO, I'm talking about a man that can go up and take a big man on in the hole. In this case, it's William Houston, number 42. Now watch William. Drop that shoulder. There's a little hole right outside him. It's not much, but it gave him a couple yards.
Scotty Graham returns. Double tight end formation. He's in front of Benote. Scotty Graham is short. Good defensive penetration by the Hawkeyes. Matt Rulin, number 57, came in underneath.
Again, that Matt Rulin, Brent, he is tough at the point of attack. You don't knock him off the ball by yourself.
The important thing about the time here is that if Ohio State is forced to turn around to score, they go right into the heart of the crowd noise here at Kinnick Stadium. The student body is back at the other end. So Greg Fry and the Buckeyes would dearly love to get it in here on third and goal. If they don't, it'll be decision time for Cooper and the Buckeyes. The toss, Robert Smith, who came back in, is held up short of the goal line. The quarter ends. John Derby, 31, came across defensively and hit him first. We've come to the end of the first quarter, and the Hawkeyes are staging a goal line stand. We'll be right back. Going to go on fourth and less than a yard.
Well, normally when you go for it like in this situation, you're saying that maybe you may not get back down there for 7. You better go for it. I think, basically, in my own philosophy, I'd go ahead and kick it and come out with assured 3 points, believing I'm going to get back down there again.
Crowd noise effective. Fry asked for the official's timeout. Didn't get it. Play fake. Fry on the roll. He's going to run to the flag. Cuts back. Touchdown. sure Cooper's heart was stopping over there on the far sideline, and it's surprising that Iowa did not cut him off. Remember the Smith injury.
Jimmy Coletto comes up with a guts call, fakes it. Good fake by the quarterback. He has protection out there with the guard. Now you see him. He's going to come back up underneath. This is all individual effort right now. Fry getting it in there. Cole Cooper, he's got to be relieved over that back injury and all. You know, he's just coming off back surgery. He can't jump up and down.
Tim Williams adding the extra point. And Ohio State in the early moments of the second quarter ties Iowa, but we could see that that crowd noise definitely was a factor at the Stute Inn here in Kinnick.
Well, they wanted to get the ball to the tight end. They couldn't get the ball to the tight end. He just kept running. They had the big offensive guard, John Peterson, number 75, was out there to help him. He could only block one guy. He got back up underneath it. Just effort, got it in the end zone.
Ohio State must win this game today, or they are eliminated from any possibility of going to the Rose Bowl. Iowa can clinch at least a tie today if they win this game, and if Michigan beats Illinois and Michigan State downs Minnesota.
Iowa is going to have to come up with a scheme to stop the deep square in patterns, and their plan was to play man-to-man underneath and go two deep safety as a change-up, and then teach the linebackers to drop out looking for it. As they saw the guy coming and square in, turn and run with him. They're going to have to do that, or Ohio State will complete 6 or 7 more of them. Good speed.
Gets to the 34-yard line. $70,000 watching their beloved Hawkeyes. This has become, under Hayden Fry, much like the state of Nebraska. Everyone rallies behind the Hawkeyes. Ohio State with a drive that featured that passing Dick Vermeil is telling you about. Tony Stewart, number 21, is in behind Lou Montgomery. Stewart, a very talented tailback too, and he'll run off that sprint draw out to the 38-yard line. Let's take a look at the Big Ten, because they are going to be featured in the upcoming bowl games. And I know that Roger Twyvell is going to give you all the insight. Right now, of course, Iowa figures to take on Washington. The Sugar, the Holiday, and the Gator, all interested in Ohio State or Michigan. The John Hancock is going to bring you Michigan State, USC. Hall of Fame, Illinois, apparently headed there to take on Clemson. And Indiana aims toward the Peach. Nothing, of course, is official yet. That's the unofficial word. And Roger will have all the details coming your way at halftime. Rogers to put it up. Great protection right into the middle to Smith for a 1st and 10 at the Buckeye 43-yard line. Steve Tovar dropping back into pass defense, brought him down after a gain of 19 yards.
This type of pattern takes a long time to develop. And Sean Smith's coming off. He's going to go inside that double zone. The corner rolled up. Now he breaks in. He settles down in the hole in the zone. It's cleaned out. He just sits there. Fortunately for the quarterback, Rogers, he had time to wait for that pattern to develop.
1st and 10, Iowa at the Ohio State 43-yard line. Montgomery and Stewart, the split backs. Off a fake to Montgomery. Rogers throws, and a diving catch by his tight end, Titley. His 2nd reception of the day.
Defending for the Buckeyes, number 51.
Look at that mask. I really do think it helps him. He does. And you know, if a person believes something helps him, then let him wear it. Let him use it. I remember having a coach one time. He said, if a kid thought pink buttermilk would help him run faster, I'd give him pink buttermilk. There's a little psychology in this game.
Whatever, he's perfect, folks. He's 5 of 5 for 45 yards. And a 2nd and 6 for Iowa. Montgomery finds his daylight. and earns a Hawkeye first down at the 32-yard line. Big Lou gets it done here, doesn't he, in Iowa City?
Big Mike Miller right here did a real nice job of coming around and leading this fullback play. Here's Montgomery. See, there he is. They give it to him. He's up inside the hole there. Good blocking. Lou Montgomery has been injured, and this is his first game back. He'd had a clavicle separation.
They have Love, center to the right side. Devlin anchors this offensive line. Running back very tight. Again, Rogers throws on first down, complete to Smith, out of bounds inside the 25-yard line, and coach, the Hawkeyes are on the move again.
They're moving the ball, and Rogers, they're throwing high percentage passes. They're giving him good time. He's only been harassed one time. You get down in this situation here where you're backing up, you're going into the red zone offensively. The defense has got to come up with some kind of a pressure defense, some kind of a linebacker commitment, or even a weak side corner commitment to throw them for the loss.
Second down and short. And it's Stewart trying to bounce to the outside, hoping to reach for that first down while the officials sort it out. Mark Jones, I guess Hayden Fry, he likes to play that role of Rodney Dangerfield here in Iowa, doesn't he?
And Brent, Dick, a lot of other faces too. You know, at the start of the season, Hayden Fry sounded a lot like this man, Jerry Faust. I mean, not Jerry Faust, Lou Holtz. Jerry Faust is gone. Lou Holtz, because he was telling people that things could get worse before they actually got better with his team. Maybe he was sandbagging and playing possum a little bit. Well, after a few wins in Big Ten Conference play, they got things together, and they still got no respect. He looked a lot like this guy, Rodney Dangerfield. Now, a few wins later, he can go back to looking like plain old Hayden Fox or Hayden Fry. Back to you guys.
All right, Mark, I was chuckling because Jerry Faust, he was anything but like Lou Holtz in his comments. You would have thought that every player that he recruited was headed for the Hall of Fame the following week. And Lou, he gives you a little bit different public posture regarding the Fighting Irish. Regardless, it was a 1st and 10 here for the Iowa Hawkeyes. A fake to Stewart. Rogers now moving to the right and throwing complete. And Montgomery ducked under Tovar.
I duck under Tovar too, buddy. You can hear him coming. The misdirection on that froze the linebackers just for a second as he comes out here. Now you'll see Montgomery come out on the flat, but note the tailback go the opposite way. See, that slows down the pursuit. He gets a good kick-out block by Agerter right there. There he is in the flat. Now look at Tovar. Oh, good thing he ducked under that. That would have been a headache play.
Second down and 4. Stewart, cut back, gets to the outside, and out of bounds at the 10-yard line for another Hawkeye first down. Mark Pelini pushing him out of bounds.
You know, I saw this Stewart play many times his sophomore year, and he ran for 1,036 yards and didn't play in the last game. He injured his knee, had major surgery. He missed part of last year. He wasn't the same guy. He's back, and in talking with him, he says he's lighter by 12 pounds, and he's faster than he was prior to the knee injury. Good football player.
Last week in Champaign, it was Bell. Here at Iowa City today against Ohio State, Stewart stepping up now.
That's recruiting.
Yes, the key to success in college football and college basketball. Sometimes the key to trouble, isn't it? Rogers going to the flag, and no penalty flag is thrown. One of the officials who was looking at it backed up and fell over an Ohio State band member on the far side. Now a flag comes. Let's see. Let's hold on. There is one. There is a flag down at the 10-yard line.
See, that was a very dangerous, high-risk throw by Matt Rogers, the inexperienced quarterback. Actually, not as inexperienced. He's a second-year guy. But when you throw a ball that flat all the way where the corner doesn't have to back up, if he comes across in front of that, boy, that's an interception. Good coverage. Good coverage there by Vinnie Clark. Maybe a little contact.
I was about to say, any chance that was interference?
Yeah, there was maybe a pretty good chance.
Well, the signal we get is illegal shift on the part of the Hawkeyes, and that will take them back to the 13-yard line. It will be 1st and goal for Fry and Iowa from the 13 after the illegal shift. Hughes now goes out to the quarterback's left.
Remember, Tony Stewart can throw the ball.
He threw for a touchdown to Hughes last week. Rogers off a pump fake wants to go back to the same spot, and he's got Hughes out of bounds at the 6-yard line.
You know what they did then? You know what they did? Let me show you this on our All 22. What they wanted to do, they coordinated a fake fade pattern, like he was going to go up here, fade pattern into the end zone. The quarterback came back, pump fake like he was going to go here, and then after the fake, he broke it on the out, trying to give the corner the impression that he was going to go on the fade. Now watch him pump fake. Boom, he pumps it, but instead of going to the end zone, he goes on the out. I saw them working on that in practice the other day. A clever move.
Second and goal from the 6. Saunders replaces Hughes. He is out to Rogers' right. Stewart, the second man, is stuffed at the 5-yard line.
Boy, that Lou Montgomery at fullback, he's an asset to be back and healthy. Now, Paul Kuyawa has been playing in there, and Paul Kuyawa is a walk-on, and he's done a great job and earned a scholarship. But Lou Montgomery really did a good job of leading on that play. Look at that big 99. Can you imagine him? He just turned 19 years old in September. 6'6", 265, size 17 shoe.
How big?
17, double, what, 4E or something like that?
A lot of cows running scared outside Iowa City. Third down and goal. Montgomery and Stewart. Off a fake, Rogers to roll. And he's sacked at the 20-yard line by Jason Simmons, who was not fooled by the play action. Tremendous defensive play by Simmons, number 91.
Jason Simmons is a young football player, redshirt sophomore. He's playing that defensive end position, and he just came working up. You'll see Jason right to your left side of your screen. Here he is to the left side of your screen by the goalpost. See him working up underneath that. Did a good job. He reached, he grabbed him with his right arm and hooked him and hauled him down. Big play.
Jeff Skillett will attempt a 34-yard field goal. He's got it. A penalty flag down on the kick. Was Skillett roughed?
Yes, they're calling rough. In what way, though? Is it incidental contact, or is it really the first down? How many yards they need for the first down?
It was 4th and goal, Dick, back here. That's the holder, Jim Hartlieb, who is Chuck's brother, number 12, standing with the official.
Fry is trying to get an interpretation of the whole thing.
I think they want to know if this is an automatic first down.
Well,
that's what he wants.
Then he has to determine whether he wants to take the points off the board or not.
He put the field goal up.
He wants the 3 points.
He's going to keep the points. A 34-yard field goal. So on the kickoff, they will march off the penalty. As a result of Skillett's field goal, Iowa leads Ohio State 10-7.
A little brains, a little luck, and a lot of late nights. A good family, a good spot, and some good advice. That's the way it's supposed to be. USF&G is standing behind me. That's the way it's supposed to be. And USF&G is standing behind me.
Jones, I'm Brent Musburger. This is Iowa City, Iowa. The amazing Hawkeyes leading Ohio State 10-7 and kicking off. Robert Smith bobbles the ball, and it goes out of the end zone where it will come out on the 20-yard line.
That thing took a little weird bounce, a little bit hard to control.
And let's check in with Roger Twyville for the end zone for the touchdown.
Brent, a bad scene at Pitt. Temple and Pitt got into a huge brawl at the end of the first quarter. Van Pelt had a pass intercepted in the end zone, and then on the sideline after the player who intercepted the pass, Tony Schmitz, was run out of bounds. You see Paul Hackett, the head coach of Pitt, running over. This brawl ensued. A Temple player, Alfonso Taylor, has been ejected from the game. You remember the LSU-Florida State brawl a few weeks ago. By the way, Pitt leads at 6-0. Brent?
Roger, thank you. And here Ohio State trailing by that Skillett field goal with a first down and blasting 35 coming through. Coach, was that a little bit of the option look?
No, well, that
moving down the line.
They
Did
do
show
run
you that?
Yeah, they do run the option off that play, faking to the fullback inside. They'll fake to him inside and come off. But this one is just what they call their fullback belly play. They're just going to hand off here with base blocking. He comes down. The quarterback will continue down the line of scrimmage and fake the option, hoping he will draw pursuit. Just a good effort right there by Scotty Graham.
Second down with Edwards checking in at wide receiver. It was Fry's passing game which led them to their touchdown. Faking draw, and Fry's pass is deflected. He had Benoti wide open, and Rod Davis, the talented nose man, got inside and deflected the pass.
He's having a very good year, Rod Davis. He had came into the ball game with 40 tackles and 6 tackles for loss and 5 sacks. He may be, from what the Ohio State coaches said last night, he's one of the reasons the defense is much improved over last year's Iowa defense. They think he's the most drastic change guy in terms of positive contribution to the defense.
Greg Fry back at that line of scrimmage. The man who pioneered the visor and who now is playing without it. Same play. First down. Benoti all alone to the 32. And we had an opportunity to ask the Ohio State quarterback why he got rid of the visor.
Well, it was one of those things where the games we played early in the season, I bet 3 of the games we played in the rain, and I had to keep switching helmets back and forth. And I've got enough things to worry about during the game where I don't need to be switching helmets, so I just decided to make a decision, get rid of it, and go ahead and play the game.
That's really something, isn't it? Fry now without the visor, and Rogers, who watched the success of the Ohio State quarterback a year ago, wearing it. And here it is, Fry, again back to pass under heavy pressure, wanted to set the screen, and almost through an interception. Great inside rush by number 54 again, Rod Davis.
Well, they had a good inside rush, and you want to allow the rush to get upfield. You'd like the rushers to get upfield in this situation because you're going to screen. But what happens, they took away the screen man, no one to throw the ball to. There comes Davis. He doesn't have anyone to throw to, so he flicks it to him. That could have easily been called intentional grounding.
The crowd certainly thinks it was.
And so does Coach Hayden. I'm not so sure I agree. And I'll tell you, there have been a lot of bad calls in the Big Ten this year.
Not a good year for the Zebras in this conference. Penalty marker comes flying, and Benoti is wrapped up at the 35-yard line.
Illegal procedure.
Both teams hurting themselves here in the first half. And tough news for Iowa from the bench. Moses Santos, their outside linebacker, sprained his knee and he is out for the game.
I would predict, and just watching the replay on that injury, that he'll be back later in the season. It didn't appear to me, in the number that I have seen in replays and studying films in 24 years of coaching, it didn't appear to be one of those real serious ones.
Left for the Hawkeyes, Purdue here in Iowa City next week, and then on the final week of the regular season, up to Minneapolis and the Dome, and a meeting with the Golden Gophers of Minnesota. Fly.
They're bluffing, now they're backing out.
And it's Scotty Graham. He's hit at the 29-yard line. This will leave them with 3rd and long. And a reminder that coming up Monday night, NFC East, the Eagles home for the Redskins. Coach, your feeling about that one?
Well, I saw the Eagles play last week, and I'll tell you, they bombed New England, and the score wasn't an indication of the game. They actually beat them worse than over the 50 points they scored. And Randall Cunningham is really starting to take charge. But never count out Joe Gibbs.
14 yards for the first down. He'd love to get the ball into Graham's hands, wide receiver if he can. Again under pressure. And sacked at the 21-yard line by Matt Rulin. What a job the defensive linemen are doing for these Hawkeyes.
The main rusher came right there, but they also had pressure here. Quarterback had no place to go. He could have thrown the ball early, but the pattern was taken away downfield. See, he had to step up inside, no place to go. Here comes Matt Rowland. We've said his name 10 times already. Having a good one.
Bowman standing inside his 10.
Matt Rowland used a spin move. He started outside and came up underneath that young offensive tackle.
Bad punt. Inside midfield. Iowa ball. 1st and 10 when you come back at the Ohio State 46-yard line. A 24-yard punt. And the Hawkeyes will have good field position.
Minolta.
Enemy in the open.
If the communications data isn't programmed right, 5,000 troops could be cut off.
Enemy forces together.
But I'd never let that happen to my brigade.
A few moments ago, Moses Santos, who was out with that sprained knee, headed for the Hawkeye locker room. Iowa's ball, a 3-point lead, 6:11 to go, 2nd quarter. Hughes in motion behind Rogers. And Bell off the fake, and Rogers to throw it, wide open, incomplete at the 20-yard line. Just a little bit too far in front of a diving Hughes, and Rogers went down. We have seen 2 tailbacks for Iowa today. Bell has returned. The rushing leaders, when you look around the nation, Eric Bieniemy having a sensational year, averaging 151 yards. But now take a look at the production of the 2 tailbacks from Iowa. Combine Bell and Stewart, and you get 172 yards a game. The kind of production they have been getting. Bell is back in the lineup. He goes out as a pass receiver. Rogers hits Titley, the tight end, and he is to the 35-yard line. That incompleted pass to Hughes was Rogers' first of the game. He is now 9 of 10. So the Iowa quarterback red hot.
You know what they do now? They flood both backs to the weak side, trying to draw coverage to the weak side, hold the tight end for a second, then come out and give him a little delay out move. Clever. See him? He's sitting there, pausing. All flow to the left. Now he just drops it off out here. Now it's a one-on-one situation, and Cook can't make that tackle, and Titley advances the ball.
Tight end always prominent in an Iowa attack. Here's Bell. Hit at the line of scrimmage, breaks that first tackle, and gets to the 32-yard line.
You know, and Rich Frimmel, number 9, he really hit him. I mean, he hit him hard, but he just bounced off this guy. And in visiting with this young man and visiting with Bell, he told me the other day, he says, Coach, all my life I've dreamt about being a running back, and I wanted to be a tailback. A lot of people wanted me to be a defensive player. That's what I was known for in high school.
And a key matchup today is what Steve Tovar can do against Bell. Listed around 250. He has lost 8 to 10 pounds here during the season. Montgomery breaks open. They spring the fullback to the 15-yard line in Iowa. First down. Jim Peel, the cornerback, brings him down, but it was a 16-yard gain for Montgomery.
It's a big trap play again. They're going to pull the offensive right guard and trap the kick out. Here it is. Now watch. Full flow. Boom. He hits him right up there. Good trap block. Good outside block. Beautifully executed play. Just like you draw it on the blackboard. Now, if they're going to stop that play, they've got to have the linebackers attack. Get up inside those holes.
Montgomery returning from an injury. Operating at fullback for Iowa. He'll carry it again. He rumbles to the 9-yard line.
You know what might be happening. The linebackers may be keying on the tailback, and they're slipping the ball to the fullback on a counter handoff. Good move, good calling. Spellman at the top of your screen. They're blocking down on him right there, blocking down him, trying to cut him off. They did a good job of that, but see, last week they faked the fullback on that same look and gave it to Bell or Stewart. This week they're giving the ball to the fullback first. Good coaching.
Second down and 3 for the Hawkeyes with a 3-point lead on Ohio State. Bell cuts back, and he gets to the 7-yard line. Judah Herman, number 36, making the stop for the Buckeyes.
Judah Herman's been making tackles his whole football career. He set a state record in high school for 578 tackles, so it's not strange to see him make one here.
Coming up on the Prudential halftime report, scores and highlights from around the country. Beth Ruyak will report on the Washington Huskies' domination of the Pac-10, and we'll have our Prudential Play of the Week out of the ABC College Football Archives. Here it is, 3rd down and 1 for a first down. And Montgomery blasts to the 2-yard line, and a 1st and goal for the Hawkeyes.
He has very fine quickness coming out of his stance. He has very good vision. This young man, you'll see number 34 in the left center of your screen. He was also an honor student coming out of high school, president of student council, bright young man, healthy, running again, and they're glad to have him back.
Tuyawa checks in, giving the Hawks 2 fullbacks. Montgomery behind him. He broke 1 tackle, but couldn't get past the 2nd. And he was down with Tovar holding on at the 1-yard line. It'll be 2nd and goal.
Steve Tovar is a real competitor. Top of your screen to the right, you'll see him. He attacks plays. He likes to tackle football players carrying the ball, and he does it well. He's only a sophomore. I predict he'll be an All-American his senior year.
2nd and goal. Montgomery battling for the touchdown.
You go back, the big play of that series was the poor punt by the Ohio State punter. It was a lousy punt, gave him great field position, short field to play on, efficient coaching, efficient execution, touchdown. Just a straight in, give it to the guy that's hot. And many times you're better off not thinking about what other play to run or what other ball carrier to get. If you've got a guy that's adrenaline is pumping and he's excited about carrying the ball, give it to him. Let him go ahead and put it in there.
And the Hawkeyes move a touchdown closer to Pasadena. 17-7. Iowa leading Ohio State with 2 minutes and 17 seconds to go in the first half. Michigan State and Illinois, the Iowa Hawkeyes were an underdog. Here today, an unfamiliar role, favored by a touchdown and leading by 10 points. Skillett takes it deep towards Smith, and he'll let it go out of the end zone. It'll come out on the 20. Well, Mark Jones, how did the Buckeye linemen do with their weekly test?
Brent, I tell you, it's not easy. Every week, every player gets one of these playbooks, and they've got to study this. They go over it with the coaches on Tuesday. By Friday, they get a blank version of this, and they have to fill in the blanks position by position, diagramming exactly what each Ohio State player has to do. Let's forever put to rest the notion of the dumb jock football player. It takes a lot of smarts.
Mark, make sure you save that for Coach Vermeil. He thinks he knows the answer to everyone's position. Here's a first down. Robert Smith back in at tailback. They've been unable to get this talented freshman loose here in this game. They fake to him and try to throw deep down the far sideline, and he overthrows his wide man. That was number 8, Bobby Olive.
Was intended.
Good play action fake, and this is what Jim Coletto, the offensive coordinator, said they wanted to do. They wanted to mix up the first down situation. They didn't want to be in a fist fight on first down every snap. Get the ball downfield to the receiver and try to get the big play. There's Jimmy Coletto, the left center of your screen.
And he does a very, very excellent job as the offensive coordinator there for Coach Cooper. Coming up at halftime, Roger Schweibel will update you on all the score. It's 2 minutes and 11 seconds. Fry with the changeup at the line of scrimmage, using hand signals for his outside men. You can see that. Throwing high, almost intercepted. Number 45, Merton Hanks, a big-timer on the corner, did the job defensively that time.
Merton Hanks did a good job, but the quarterback, Greg Fry, has to throw this ball lower. Don't, in a slant pattern, hang the receiver up there to be killed. Get it into his belly and let him draw it to his body. That's the mistake made.
Hanks used his head on that play, didn't he?
Many times when you go to throw that short slant, there's a lineman right in your passing lane, and you have to throw it a little bit higher than you would like to.
Benote checks back in for the Buckeyes. 3rd down and 10. Coming out from their own 20-yard line, down by 10. The Hawkeyes have taken charge. Diving, incomplete.
Almost
incomplete and almost intercepted by Derby.
Derby's having a hot game.
Bowman returns, and you might remember what Coach Vermeil said. That 24-yard punt set up a Hawkeye scoring drive. They have 2 minutes to work with and a couple of timeouts when they get this ball back.
Well, he came into the game, Bowman did, as the #2 punter in the Big Ten, averaging 42.1 yards a punt. He can punt a lot better than he did last time, and I suspect he will this time. He bangs her back there a little bit lower than you'd like.
And Tula is driven back to the 32.
Oh!
Hole in the middle. Midfield. And inside the 45-yard line. A spectacular return by young Jeff M. Tula. A 24-yard return, and he'd been averaging 19 yards a return.
Here he is taking it. He knew that that was a low, long punt and that he would probably have at least a couple yards to start because the ball got there before the coverage could get there. A little too low of a punt. You've got to get him up an average around 4 or 5 hang time so your coverage can do a good job.
17-7, Iowa. 1:56 to work with. The 2-minute drill. The Hawkeyes will try to stick a dagger into the hearts of the Buckeyes right now if they can. Dropping it off to Stewart. There is a penalty flag down on the far side.
Yeah, Mike Devlin, the offensive center, coming out, hit a man in the back. It looked like a clip from here. We'll take a look at that from the end zone and see if we can prove the official right. Follow Devlin, the offensive center, as he heads in the screen. See, he drops back, he's sitting there, he's bluffing. Now watch him head in the screen. Here he goes, here he goes, here he goes, here he goes. All right, freeze it right there, freeze it. Yeah, you can see right there, he hit the man in the back. That's a clip. Good call by the official. See, they do something right once in a while.
That's the first time you've admitted that.
I gave him a vote of confidence, first time this year.
Coach, let me ask you something. This is the first time that you and I have had the pleasure of watching Iowa in person this year. What's your feeling about this team right now as we approach halftime here?
Well, I think they're a very good football team, and that's obvious, but I think they have matured much earlier than anticipated. There's a lot of young players playing in this lineup, both offensively and defensively, and they're becoming of age sooner than anticipated.
And they have jumped into that top 10, ranked number 6. When the season began, they weren't even ranked, and after they lost to Miami, which is their only loss of the season, no one even mentioned them.
To me, they're a great example of a very positive, collective squad attitude. Not a chemistry, not a focus that you hear these terms in the newspapers. It's an attitude generated by the coaching staff through the leadership of the squad.
And this is how they can get to number 1.
Oh,
if Notre Dame
that'll help
loses,
their attitude.
and Washington wins out, Iowa then wins out, and Colorado beats Miami in the Orange Bowl, and then Iowa defeats Washington. All those friends you and I made in Seattle last week suddenly turned on us.
Yeah,
I can hear them screaming at you and me out in Seattle right now, where Keith Jackson and Bob Greasy are getting ready to go to work.
It will take Iowa's very best shot if they do end up playing in the Rose Bowl to beat the Huskies.
Now, I was going to ask you to compare those two in the second half. I was going to save that question for you.
Yeah, because we're a long ways from this game being over.
Exactly. It's 17-7, 1:26. Iowa using a timeout. They are down to 1. The Hawkeyes have the ball at the Ohio State 46-yard line.
Watching them on the practice field inside, because on Thursday here there was snow on the ground and sleet and everything else. They went through their 2-minute drill inside. They do a real good job. They like to get the ball to the tight end and running backs in these situations.
Second down and 13 for the first down, working against the clock. Son of the former Boston Celtic coach at command for the Hawkeyes. Off a play fake, trouble from the blind side. Hughes drops the ball at the 21-yard line, and that will make it 3rd and 13. He should have caught it.
That was too easy. That was too easy. He should have made that reception. The defender didn't deflect it. It was there.
Dad is probably saying this is like giving Larry Bird a screen and then having him miss a 12-footer.
Brent, this is all misdirection. See, they fake the counter coming backside. He comes out on the roll. He gets a little heat, but he's rolling away from the heat. Here comes Spellman. Oh, hello.
I'd say.
Is he a giant?
3rd and 13. Rogers with the draw play. Bell blasts his way close to a first down. Let's see where they spot it.
You know what they did then? Real good call. They took advantage of Alonzo Spellman's really intense pass rush, and they let him rush right here. Let him set and get outside, and they ran the draw underneath him. Just a sophomore. Look, they get him upfield. They get him up there. Look at that hole inside. See? They'll teach him to go after the quarterback.
Still a minute left. The chains are coming out for the measurement.
The draws are tough to stop. The quarterback has to, the linebackers have to sit and pause and make sure that the quarterback in his drop passes the near running back without giving it to him before they release in the drop. I think right now they're releasing too soon. Therefore, the draw is open.
Mark, what about the crowd noise here in Kinnick Stadium?
Well, guys, a couple of times during the game, Greg Fry has almost fumbled the snap because of miscommunication because of the crowd noise. Punter Tim Williams told me just a few seconds ago that this is the loudest game that they've played in this season. It's going to be something to deal with.
Yeah, this has always been, Mark, a very, very loud stadium in the Big Ten. As the officials hold up play here, and a penalty marker may have come down.
What did they call?
Yes. Big penalty against Iowa. They had it 4th and less than a yard, you could see by the measurement. And now they'll lose 5 yards, as you see part of our 70,000
What was the illegal procedure? I didn't see anything illegal about anything they were doing. There's Coach Cooper. Again, recuperating from back surgery. He never missed a game. He was in the press box a couple ball games, but he's back.
Cookie the Hawk is the favorite. Now 4th down and almost 6. Rogers will attempt to throw for it. He does not get it off.
There's that Greg Smith. Here's a guy.
They ruled it incomplete with Greg Smith tackling the quarterback.
I love those kind of guys, Brent. They walk on. They're not recruited. They don't have a football scholarship. They earn their scholarship. They're honor students, doing everything right.
I think we just saw a flag thrown at the Ohio State coach over there on the far side. And the reason why, and I think he's got a legitimate beef, I thought it was intentional grounding when he went down.
Just remember this, Coop. They're never wrong. They haven't made a mistake yet, have they?
I'm not thinking about that injured back right now, which underwent surgery earlier in the season. John watched one game in the press box and returned to the sideline last week. This could be a very costly penalty. Let's let the referee sort this one out for us.
He's had a few real tough calls on him this year. You know, the forward lateral in the Illinois game, which was a joke, you know, and have to live with that.
Well, he's also upset, we get word, about the fact that they stopped the clock and measured for a first down when he didn't think it was close.
This is in Iowa. Holy heck. You saw that shot of Hayden Fry there. He owns his state. When he came into that breakfast with 650 alums there, he got a standing ovation.
Bet he didn't have to pay for breakfast either. Well, after the penalty, the ball is put down at the 24-yard line. So it's 1st and 25 after the 15 yards for unsportsmanlike conduct walked off against the Buckeyes. 43 seconds, all of their timeouts. Fry on the roll, and it is complete at the 35-yard line, and that is Jeff Graham.
You know, I have seen Fry a few times in this similar situation, the 2-minute offense at the end of the game and before the half, and boy, he does a great job of that hurry-up offense. Very bright young man.
Trying to get it going here. Beating the rush. Stopping the clock on an incompleted pass with 16 seconds to go. Scotty Graham, the fullback, was the intended receiver, working the sideline to stop the clock. So 16 seconds to go. Cooper and the Buckeyes trailing it by 10, 17-7. A loss, and Ohio State is eliminated from Rose Bowl contention. They have been beaten this year by Illinois and tied by Indiana. Coach caught some heat for that Indiana tie because of the way the clock was run out by the Buckeyes late in the game. Fry with the draw play, and Smith breaking free at the 45. 50,
out of bounds,
and out of bounds at the 49 with 10 seconds to go. Eddie Pauley, the cornerback, getting him out of bounds for the Hawkeyes there.
I think they're trying to get the ball down there in field goal range because Tim Williams has kicked a 52-yarder. Ellis is down now. He's had an injury year, period. This is the son of the former heavyweight boxing champion of the world, Jimmy Ellis, fine football player, a little heavier than he would like to be because he tore up a knee a year ago, couldn't work like you normally do, ate just as much as you normally do, put on a few too many pounds, had an ankle sprain this year. Now he's back playing again this week. Probably aggravated the ankle.
Cooper coming off the Ohio State sideline to check on his injured tight end.
Okay, right on the bottom of your screen, you can see here, we'll circle him right here for you. You'll see him blocking on the outside linebacker here, number 97, Jason DeMont. Here it goes. Let's see what happens. Somebody hit it. Oh, right there from behind. That's more like a knee strain right there. That's more of a knee strain, not an ankle. Look how big he is. He's more than 260. Super heavyweight.
While that was going on, Cooper used the opportunity to have a few words with referee Ron Winter.
Do you think
he
he
didn't even
invited him to
speak
lunch?
to Ellis?
Huh?
And he showed by the measurement of his hands how far away from that first down they were when they stopped the clock. So that is what originally infuriated Cooper over there on the sideline, that they would give the Hawkeyes all that time. He then drew an unsportsmanlike conduct when intentionally grounding was not called, and he is still upset. Here he has 10 seconds to work with. He's trailing by 10 points, and the ball is at the Hawkeye 48-yard line. They need one quick completed pass at the sideline or a timeout, and then they'll try to get the kicker onto the field. They have all three of their timeouts, so they can throw this one into the middle if he finds the open man. But only 10 seconds to work with. He'll have to hurry. Under pressure. Now going deep. And ricochet complete. It's Jeff Graham for the Ohio State touchdown. Woo! Seconds of the first half. Merton Hanks, their talented defensive back, had the ball, couldn't keep it. It ricocheted into the arms of Graham.
Straight drop back pass. He gets pressure outside. He steps up inside the pocket, fires it. It's over the top. He ricochets into the right man for Ohio State, and there goes Graham in for the score. My gosh, there's a little luck to this game.
48 yards on the touchdown. Williams hammers the extra point.
More important than the touchdown even right now is the emotional lift this gives him at halftime to come out in the second half. Taking another look at it again. See, he does good presence of mind to get up inside that hole. Not to scramble, look for the receiver downfield, throws his interception that is fumbled and batted away, and here they go. Graham has got it. He's going to run it in for the score.
Franco Harris didn't do it any better. 3 catches, 83 yards, and a touchdown for Jeff Graham. 17-14, Iowa over Ohio State.
ABC's College Football, brought to you by Honda, maker of fine quality automobiles. Test drive a Honda at your local dealer today. And by UPS, now offering 10:30 a.m. guaranteed overnight delivery. We'll be back after these messages and a word from our ABC station.
Buckeyes, Dick Vermeil Vermeil, how did that ball come off like a bullet into the hands of Jeff Graham?
Well, Merton Hanks went for the ball at its highest point. You'll see here to the right corner of your screen, but the ball went right through his hands and ricocheted off his shoulder pads. Wham! See, and it went back like that. If he'd have hit it with his hands, he'd have probably knocked it right to the turf.
A 48-yard touchdown for the Buckeyes. They have closed back to within 3 of Iowa, and we'll be coming back with the second half kickoff in just a moment. Buckeyes, Dick Vermeil, how did that ball come off like a bullet into the hands of Jeff Graham?
Well, Merton Hanks went for the ball at its highest point. You'll see here to the right corner of your screen, but the ball went right through his hands and ricocheted off his shoulder pads. Wham! See, and it went back like that. If he'd have hit it with his hands, he'd have probably knocked it right to the turf.
A 48-yard touchdown for the Buckeyes. They have closed back to within 3 of Iowa, and we'll be coming back with the second half kickoff in just a moment. And Lee, 1 yard deep, elects to come out, and he slips. And then finds an alley, and he's out of bounds on the far side. Mark Jones, I know you spoke to Coach Cooper. What was he so angry about? What's the story from the first half?
Well, guys, he was upset about a couple of things. First of all, he was upset that he was whistled for a personal foul call. He felt that the referee shouldn't have stopped the clock for the first down measurement when it was obvious it wasn't even close to a first down before the half ended. Second of all, Cooper's upset that the referees won't stop the clock and give Greg Fry a chance to quiet down the crowd. The referee's upset at him right now, and obviously he's not on the referee's Christmas card list either.
Yeah, I would say not. 1st and 10 for Fry and the Buckeyes, down by a field goal as we get underway here in the second half. Freshman Robert Smith back in, and that's his best run from scrimmage. 11 yards right straight up the middle behind the offensive line.
Yeah, and a real good trap block by the big, strong guard, John Peterson, number 75, came around. You'll see this coming from the end zone here, what I'm talking about. He does a real nice job of coming around here and trapping as they seal off inside. Watch this now, Peterson, there he goes. Now watch him kick out. Oh, he actually turns up inside and gets his block. Really a good job, good read on his part. You know, the irony of the whole thing, Brent, if they hadn't had that stop the clock before the half, they wouldn't have had enough time to get the big play that they got.
So I guess it balances out.
Yeah.
1st and 10. Fry with the whistle blowing as the ball was snapped.
There is a penalty marker on the play.
So the officials were busy in the first half, and they start out that way here in the second half.
Preliminary signal, illegal procedure, Ohio State.
Coach Cooper won't be happy about that one, but he seems to be in agreement over there on the far side.
Good ball. Ball start.
Robert Smith starting to run with some of the greats of college football. There's his average compared to Dorsett, Walker, Smith, but ahead of Anderson, a fellow by the name of Walter Payton. And today, 42 more yards with 7 carries. And closing in on that freshman record at Ohio State established by Archie Griffin. The option, Fly, late pitch, very dangerous. On the bounce, Smith was able to pick it up. Ooh, that was close, wasn't it?
You'll see when you run an option play to the split inside of the formation, you get quicker pressure here from the outside linebacker. If you run it to the tight end, it's a little longer situation. See, and he gets there right now. He got there really quick. Got to pitch that much quicker in that situation, especially to the split inside of the formation.
Derek Clark coming over to bring him down. Fry with both backs out, steps up against the pressure, almost intercepted at midfield by Clark.
Whew. That was close. Gary Clark, number 19, almost had the big play of the afternoon. He's sprinting away, setting up away from the main part of the rush. He moves back up inside. He fires it under pressure. And Brent, this is why sometimes quarterback pressure is more valuable than a quarterback sack. The sack, he can't throw the ball. Pressure, he can throw it. You get the interception. Many times you can take it back and score.
Inside of 5 seconds on that 25-second clock, so Fry has to use a timeout. Things are not going Ohio State's way. Just 1 second left on the 25-second clock, and Ohio State uses one of its 3 second-half timeouts. Ohio State 14, 13-26 to go in the third, and this is the drive chart for Ohio State in the first half, Coach.
Yeah, punt, the long drive for the touchdown, and you see the other long drive for the touchdown. This one right here is the batted ball. That's the lucky play. The other long drive was the executed play. They need more of those executed drives.
It was 4th and goal that they scored on the first one. Here it is 3rd and 15 for the Buckeyes. Olive comes in motion. Try to go deep. He's got Graham. Incomplete at the 25-yard line. We're looking for another ricochet reception.
I think Graham actually outran Greg Fry's strength in his arm. If he'd have thrown the ball a little sooner, he might have been able to complete that, because Graham was down between the two defenders in the zone. It just took a little too much time to get this one down there. You'll see it coming down right now. But Graham had 2 or 3 steps on him. Then he went back for the ball, and the defenders caught up with him.
Bowman standing inside the Buckeye 25-yard line. 2 Ohio State punts blocked this year. Good block by Clark. A run off the Hawkeye, and Antula fields it at the 20. Beautiful. Out to the 34-yard line. He got all he could on that before Lance Price brought him down. A 14-yard return and a nifty one after a 43-yard punt. Hawkeyes' first possession here of the second half.
The Hawkeyes have been a very efficient offensive team in the second half. They're the second leading third scoring team in the Big Ten, and the second leading scoring team in the fourth quarter. Equivalents to, or adds up to, being the #1 scoring second half team. You really better lock on the chin straps now defensively and try to shut him down in this drive.
Matt Rogers with the visor, quarterbacking the Hawkeyes. Hasn't thrown an interception in a Big Ten game since Wisconsin, I believe. Rogers to Bell off the fake and going deep to Smith and almost intercepted. Had him open for a moment. Mark Pelini, 48, was there defensively.
You said it so clearly. You had him open for a moment. The quarterbacks are waiting too long to throw the deep one. Let it go sooner.
How about the Hawkeyes' drives in the first half, Coach?
Well, you know, they started right off the right way. 8 plays and in the end zone. Can't be much better. Then they turn it over. They come back 1, 2, 3 out. But they have been moving the ball. You can see in 3 of the 6 drives, they moved the football.
Coming back with a 2nd and 10. Titley, 84, is the tight end. The formation is strong to the quarterback's right. You can see that familiar stand-up tight end, able to watch the secondary a little bit better when he comes out of there. This is Bell. Not much daylight there as he was met by the middle of that line. Tom Lease, 81, leading the defense that time.
You know, I had the feeling in talking to the defensive coaches at Ohio State last night that they felt that they could get after Bell. They felt they could prop him up and tattoo him and slow him down and take some of the confidence that he's been running with out of him. But as a coach, offensive coach, I'd make him prove it to me. I'd give Bell the ball 15 times in the second half. Big horse like that.
He gained 168 yards against Illinois, and here today 11 carries for 56 yards. Rogers with the changeup at the line of scrimmage on 3rd and long. Fakes the run, has time, receivers covered. Now he'll run out of trouble, and he trips him down at the 39-yard line. Iowa forced the punt, 3 and out.
Good coverage downfield. Had a lot of time, but it doesn't matter how much time you have if you can't find a guy open downfield. And as you said, he isn't going to throw the interception. He's not going to make the dumb move with the ball in his hand.
Jim Hyzak punting for Iowa, Coach.
Matt Rogers told me the other day he's starting to like running the football. They're having him run the option, which they haven't done yet today, but they will.
Jeff Graham will feel much more comfortable if this punt is batted.
This guy Graham can really return it.
25, surrounded. Now makes a move to the far side. Finds an alley. You were right about that. He got back to the 35-yard line and nailed in his shot. Brian Wise getting him out of bounds. An 11-yard return. We'll be right back. And Foster ahead by 3 points. But last year, this inside linebacker and the rest of the Hawkeyes were embarrassed. 28-0 in Columbus. One of those games that young men don't easily forget, as Fry Changes up at the line of scrimmage. Brings his fullback, Scotty Graham, into the fray. John Derby bringing him down. And this is what Foster had to say about his memories in Columbus of a year ago.
28-0. They caught a picture of me and Eddie Polly walking off the field right after the game, and we had taken a look up at the scoreboard, and we saw 28-0, and we shook our head, and we looked at each other. We said, that's all right. They're going to be in our house next year.
And in our house right now with Robert Smith back in the backfield. Fly to throw, incomplete, a one-hopper. It'll be 3rd down. Brian Stabline is the intended receiver.
They're getting good pressure, consistent pressure on Greg Fry, and it's tough to throw the accurate pass. I wouldn't be surprised to see Coletto and Rod Hudson, the quarterback coach, to get him outside the pocket on some kind of a rollout or bootleg action away from the heat. Let's see what Coletto calls.
Third down, 7 yards for Ohio State, 1st down. Again, the changeup at the line.
They're audibling because of the tight coverage. Now Iowa backs out of the tight coverage.
Fly, receiver covered, comes back the other way and throws incomplete. Great coverage by Hanks over here on Ollie.
They're playing games with each other. They showed a tight Red Dog coverage like they were going to come after him. He audibled. They backed out of the coverage and went 2 deep zone. Didn't have a pattern for a 2 deep zone called.
And Fry 0 of 4 against
frustrating
that defensive coverage this half. For the game, 5 of 16 for 106 yards.
You know, I've seen Fry many times in the same situation, Brent, and that 5 of 16, 5 of 16, and all of a sudden he goes 10 straight in a row.
Bowman drives Antula back inside the 15-yard line, bluffing the fair catch, gets an Ohio State bounce, and the Hawkeyes will be buried on this one back at the 6. Well, Dr. Tom Davis coaches the Iowa basketball team, and he's downstairs with Mark. Mark?
Thanks a lot, Brent. You know, one of the big stories right now in the Big Ten period, not just football but basketball, is the brewing storm between Iowa and Illinois. Coach, what are your reactions to the Illinois sanctions and penalties?
I think, like most other coaches, we're just anxious to get on the court, on the basketball court, and get ready to play. So we're looking forward to that.
Does this add any incentive to your head-to-head competition against Illinois this year?
Well, you know, in this league, the competition's so intense anyway that you don't need much extra incentive. So I just think there'll be good intense rivalries among all the schools.
This will be a big act to follow up if this football team goes to the Rose Bowl.
I'm like every other Hawkeye fan. We're just excited about what's going on.
Thanks a lot for joining us. Brent, Dick, back.
Thanks, Mark. That was Nick Bell, the tailback, with the carry there for the Hawkeyes. 2nd down and 9. That one's in Jacksonville, Florida. The Gators beating up on Uga and the Dogs today. Michigan ahead of Illinois, and that would help Iowa's Rose Bowl chances here today. Again, they can clinch a tie if they beat Ohio State, and both Michigan schools also record victories. It's Bell again behind the left side. This will leave them with a 3rd down, and Steve Tovar, 58, was their defensive lead.
We talked about Steve earlier. Just a sophomore, has great instincts to the ball. Sometimes you take a guy like this and you coach him, and you coach him to a point, then you shut up and let him play. You've got to be careful that you discipline him to a point that you take away some of the spontaneity and instincts in his play.
2 defenses slugging it out here in the early going of the 2nd half. Rogers incomplete, and that was fine defense by Brent Johnson that time.
That's the 2nd series in a row now. They've gone 1, 2, 3 and out. Good defense by Ohio State. Bill Young and his defensive coaching staff, Gary Blackney, Fred Pajak, Ron Zook, done a good job at halftime.
Isaac standing in the Iowa end zone, and Jeff Graham could give the Buckeyes some field position. Low snap, well fielded by Isaac. Good punt considering that snap. Graham fumbles, out of bounds. Ohio State ball. 43-yard punt and out of bounds. Now, what can Ohio State do to change up against this pass coverage that you've been telling us about?
Well, they're bluffing some coverages, all right? They're showing up front, then backing out. First thing I'd do is I'd come up and go in some quick count. Make them show right now what they're going to be in. Line up and go. The other thing I'd do is then I'd start running some motion. Man in motion, and if they chase you man-to-man, then you know you're man-to-man. If they just back off, then you know they're in a zone. Sort of control them that way.
Graham and Smith are the running backs behind Fry. Ball is at the Buckeye 48-yard line. The toss to Smith, and he's hit behind the line of scrimmage. Could not get back as Crane, number 88, who replaced the injured Moses Santos, comes in and makes the stop.
Gary Lichtovich, number 86, the tight end, was really mad at himself. It was a one-on-one block situation with him on Crane, and Crane won the battle. You'll see this on the screen right up here. Defender, tight end. See, they're tossing the ball. To toss the ball, you got to get it. Oh, actually, darn near got him lassoed there. He wanted him to go outside. He turned up inside.
As a result, it's 2nd and 11. The draw to Smith. Crosses midfield to the 49-yard line. A reminder that tomorrow on ABC Sports, Yvonne Lendl competes with 8 of the world's top stars for $500,000 in total prize money. Tots presents the tennis shootout. Coverage begins at 4, 3 Central and Pacific tomorrow on ABC.
Talking about money, it was sort of cute what Coach Fry said to you the other day in the meeting. He said, you know, Brent, you moved to Iowa with all the dough you make, you could afford a 3-holer, he said. He nailed you, didn't he?
Those folks who don't come from rural country
don't know what they're talking
about. You're talking about. I'll send them to the dictionary. All right.
Blitz.
Under pressure, avoids it niftily and throws a wounded duck out of bounds, but he avoided a negative statistic that time by just getting it off.
Well, Bill Brazier, the defensive coordinator, said he wanted to get pressure on the outside of these type of passes. He gets it. Now see the pressure, a little play action fake. Here comes the pressure outside, Leroy Smith. Now he has pressure in front of him right there with Johnson, number 71. Forces the bad ball.
Bowman hunting again.
3 and 3.
Fry is 0 of 5 passing this half. Iowa leading Ohio State 17-14. And the Buckeyes will give it back to the Big Ten leaders. And Tula again signals for the fair catch, and the ball will be down at the 20-yard line. So we'll take a break and come right back with 7:47 to go in the third. And never dreaming when this season began that they might be headed to Pasadena. Alonzo Spellman with his ankle nicked up a bit, but staying on the field defensively for the Buckeyes. 1st and 10 for Iowa. They lead it by a field goal. The fullback, Montgomery, breaks away from a tackle and makes his way out to the 28-yard line. We have raved about the 2 tailbacks, but I'm not so sure that Montgomery hasn't been their most impressive runner in this game.
And I do believe because of the 2 tailbacks being so successful that people are keying on him and flowing with the tailback, and they're not seeing the fullback right in his face. Now this is just a real good individual effort. He has that low center of gravity, and he keeps those feet pumping.
7 carries, 44 yards, and a touchdown. 2 yards for the first down, and Stewart trying to reach out, maybe a little short. Rich Frimmel tackling him for the Buckeyes.
The Ohio State is playing so much better defense than they played a year ago. Bill Young and his staff have done a real good job. They really improved. Last year, they gave up a touchdown every 23 snaps. This year, they've been forcing a team to run 40 snaps before they score. Good improvement, and it will continue to improve because they have a lot of young football players playing.
3rd down and less than a yard. It'll be Stewart.
He didn't make it.
He was stuffed right there at the line of scrimmage. Again, the spot will be important here.
Carl Jackson, the offensive coordinator for Iowa, said they wanted to pound on these guys up inside and constrict them. Then it's come with the short passing game, both drop back and play pass and misdirection. We haven't seen misdirection, but I think it's time to get the ball outside. They've got him constricted inside. Get it outside.
Now, coach, you be the coach again. You're up by 3. You've got 4th and very short.
I'd punt it.
Well, you and Hayden agree. Great minds think alike.
No, not in his class. But
you won one more Rose Bowl than he did.
But I think you're better off doing that. The only thing is, this guy, you'll never know what he might do. He might snap at that fullback.
They're trying to draw him offside probably right now. And then they go ahead with the snap. And Hyzak punts it.
That's a return.
And Graham at the 30. 35. Down at the 38-yard line, where it will be 1st and 10 for Ohio State. 17-14 is our score right now with 6:09. And in case you just joined us, here's how the scoring went. Matt Rogers, 3 yards for the first touchdown of the game, putting the Hawkeyes up by 7. Greg Fry on 1st and goal, and we were even. Then it was a skillet field goal. It was 10-7. Daylight, a 10-point lead on Montgomery's run. And just as the half ended, Jeff Graham caught a ricochet, 48 yards, Ohio State touchdown. 17-14 right now, and Fry faking to Smith. Penalty marker is down, incomplete, out of bounds on that far side. We do have a penalty flag. Dick, your feeling about this passing game of Ohio State's right now?
Well, I feel this, Brent. The quarterback is getting knocked down too many times, too much pressure on him. And I know that they have a quicker passing game in drop-back design, the 3-step drop, the 5-step drop. Go back and fire some of those and take some of the heat off the quarterback.
So the holding penalty against Cooper and the Buckeyes.
Holding.
And the ball will be brought back to the 28-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 20.
The big thing when you have 1st and 20 is don't try to get 21 yards on one snap. Be satisfied with 6, 8, that type of thing in design and in your play call.
Olive and Graham to the same side as receivers. Scotty Graham is the fullback in front of Smith. The toss to the freshman. Penalty marker down again.
Number 32.
Right now, I think they sort of miss Ellis at the tight end position because he was the guy, the big physical blocker on the outside linebacker that could block that guy. I'm not too sure the backup tight end can do that. We'll take a look and see if what's happening here. Top of your screen, that's the key block if you're going to run outside. Normally they have a 260-pounder right there, but you see number 88, Crane, is controlling that point of attack.
Defense. Repeat 1st down.
And Likovich, the tight end, who must fill in for Ellis.
He's been playing, you know, prior to this ball game when they were scoring over 47 points a game, so he's been doing a good job. But evidently Crane is a very strong young man at 6'3", 240 pounds.
They go to an extra wide receiver. Edwards and Graham and Stabline. And Fry hands to Scotty Graham, who blasts his way to the 36. Mark, is Coach Cooper upset again on that far sideline?
Well, Brent, Dick, a little more on that feud between Cooper and the referees. He's been complaining about the defense of Iowa lining up in the neutral zone. And ironically, 2 plays ago, the Iowa defensive line was finally whistled for offside. The feud continues. He's been working the referees big time from the Ohio State sidelines.
Don't think that doesn't influence an official. If you as a coach, because I've done it myself, you're on the sideline, you're in that guy's ear, in that guy's ear, and sooner or later, you're going to get that one called.
5 minutes, 3rd quarter. 17-14, Iowa leading Ohio State. Buckeyes with the ball. Fry picks it back up. Looks for a receiver and throws it away out of bounds.
There again is Mr. Davis. I don't know if he slipped or he stepped forward with one foot and the center's foot got him. That's what happens many times. Take a look right here at the footwork here. Let's see if this quarterback steps forward with one foot. Yes, right there. See him, and he gets stepped on. I'm not sure it wasn't the right guard's inside foot that got him. But that's what happens in that many times. They step forward as they try to pedal out, and then an offensive lineman who's coming back in pass protection steps on his foot.
Fry 0 of 6 this half. Third and 14. Fry straight back. Over the middle, complete to Olive, and a Buckeye first down at Iowa's 45.
Again, what kind of pattern was that? The deep square in. That's their best pattern. They've got to take that away if they want to win this football game. They'll come back with that again. Straight drop back pass. He steps up nicely. There's good pressure on him. Here it is, coming right in the middle screen. Good catch by Bobby Olive. He gets up there. That's the second time he's going up in the air like that for the ball. And he's another guy that walked on. No scholarship, and he earned a scholarship. Give him credit.
First down for Ohio State. They trail it by 3. 4:27 remaining in the third quarter. Smith and a penalty flag comes flying.
What's the penalty now?
Smith gets to the 40.
Illegal motion. He must have been moving toward the line of scrimmage when it was snapped. Boy, I'll tell you, coaching's easy, isn't it? Here he's just off back surgery. He should be in a lawn chair beside his swimming pool. Recuperate.
Love to put your future in the hands of 17, 18, and 19-year-olds.
Hey, I've done it.
And he's working at one of the shrines, Ohio State.
Where the expectation is almost beyond belief. You know, they expect so much at Ohio State because they're spoiled over the years.
Good hotbed of high school and college football, isn't it? Fry handing to Smith. Penalty flag comes flying.
Now what is it? Let him play. You know what happens? What happens? It's self-destructing. It self-destructs you mentally. You get upset. You do something positive and you get the flag. You do something positive and you get the flag. And it drains you mentally as a football team. And as a coach, you about go wild.
Holding. Offense. Repeat first down.
And you could call holding almost on every snap. You look at they got the hands out, they're grabbing people, and I really think they've allowed a little more holding in the Big Ten this year than in past years. And I really do. Let's see if we can find the holding penalty. Let's see, where is it? Where is it? Where is it?
Oh. 52.
Yeah, all right, that's Hartman.
There's no question. This is 1st and 25. They'll need one of your square ends here. Fly back. Incomplete. He was throwing back on the outside. And the coverage was read differently by Graham.
Graham didn't do a real good job on that. See, he curled around the inside and stopped right behind the defender rather than sliding inside or outside away from the defender. Didn't get in the throwing lane between he and the quarterback. He has too much experience to make that mistake.
Robert Smith checks back into the game. Off the draw, the fake. Fry again. Wanted his wide receiver to the outside, so more confusion between quarterback and receiver.
Yeah, but you know what happens? What happens to the quarterback? You've been under pressure, you've been under pressure, you've been under pressure. All of a sudden, you don't have pressure, and you still hurry your throw. You've got to go ahead when you have time, take your time, and make sure you throw the strike. That time he threw faster than he had to.
Ohio State needs 25 yards for the first down. 3 minutes and 30 seconds remain here in the third quarter. They need to advance the ball to Iowa's 34-yard line. This is a 3rd down for Fry. Everybody out. Again pressure. Incomplete, and the Buckeyes are forced to punt.
Good pressure, good pressure. Went full zone coverage down there. No high percentage pass going downfield. Everybody watching the quarterback. Heat, no place to go. Did a good job. Just get rid of it. Coop, he's getting after him. He's fired up.
All our scoring here in the first half. The defenses move center stage in the third quarter. Bowman booms perhaps his best punt of the day. And Tula comes up at the 22-yard line, didn't make the fair catch, and downed in his tracks. This is a big night for Twin Peaks on ABC. Let's take a look at what's coming your way on our prime time lineup here tonight.
Where were you in 1970? Colleen McMurphy's on the road, running from herself. China Beach. Then, it was a mystery that captured the imagination of the whole country. And tonight, the killer of Laura Palmer will finally be revealed. Really, Twin Peaks tonight.
Back with 1st and 10 for the Hawkeyes. Rogers, straight back. Tight end Titley all alone and out of bounds in Ohio State territory. Vinnie Clark forcing him out at the 47-yard line. The great secret weapon in the college game, the tight end, and Titley gains 28 yards, Coach.
Real good job of the tight end right here, released, and he got down in the mid zone between a deep pattern and a short pattern. Stretched the zone vertically, and he threw it nicely. He had good time and hit right in between the deep defender and the short defender.
Mike Saunders is into the game as the lone running back.
Watch out for a play-action pass or something fancy when he's in there.
Rogers' receivers were covered that time, and he runs to the 43-yard line. Rich Frimmel credited with that stop.
Mike Saunders is their gimmick guy. When he's in there, you better watch out because he does things. Reverse passes, pitch backs, and this kind of thing.
Saunders back out after that play.
You know, maybe they're setting something up because the old Fox over there, he sets it up. What he calls his fancy plays the exotics, and he always sets them up. Maybe he wanted him to see number 32 in the game.
2nd down. Draw play with Bell. Cutting back for the 1st down. Hawkeye 1st down at the Ohio State 36-yard line.
See, when you have a big back like this, young or not, you still have to hit him with the pads, bend the legs, and strike through him because he has a lot of power. Good draw technique by the quarterback. He took it back. He inserted it. Now look at the power. See, one man grabbed him there. He didn't get him. One guy hits him there. Look, he's still going forward. Still going forward. 242 pounds, 4.540.
Bell is lined up behind Montgomery. And off a fake to Bell. Wide open, wide open, wide open. Got a tight end at the 15-yard line. Alan Cross, number 87.
Play action pass. I think they were in a too-deep zone. The play action freezes everybody. And Cross, the tight end, comes down and gets in the hole behind the linebackers. You'll see the fake in there. Linebackers are attacking, playing run. They're on the line of scrimmage. There's a big hole in between the linebackers and the safety. Here comes the safety and does what he has to do.
Phenomenal tight end production here in Iowa City for the Hawkeyes. 21 more yards and a 1st and 10 at the Ohio State 15-yard line. Fake to Bell, and they bring Montgomery around the right side.
You know, you said fake to Bell. I think it's as the game plan unfolds here in the 2nd half. It's obvious that they're trying to counter always giving the ball to the tailback. They're faking to the tailback and giving it to the fullback. They did it efficiently in the 2nd quarter. They're doing it again here.
Couple of yards. 2nd down and 8. Mike Saunders goes out as a wide receiver. Montgomery set in front of Bell.
Broken play.
Rogers under pressure down at the 20-yard line.
Broken play.
Jason Simmons in there on top of the Hawkeye quarterback.
Either the quarterback went the wrong way or the running backs went the wrong way, but somebody was wrong. Take a look from the end zone. You'll note how the running backs go one way and the quarterback goes the other. Now watch this. That's confusing. See, he says, gosh, I went there. I think it was a quarterback mistake. When two guys go the same way and one guy goes the other way, you better blame the one guy.
And now the Buckeyes better keep an eye on the 2 tight ends, Cross and Titley. Rogers off a fake, drops back, throws, incomplete.
Dropped it.
Nick Bell had it for a moment and couldn't hang on.
Well, there was good play action. They had Bell over here, and here's Bell. They're going to run action toward him, see, like this, and then they run him right down the seam. Quarterback came out and tried to throw back, hit him in a bad place, the hands. See, here it is, little bootleg action. He comes out, there's Bell working down the seam. There he is, right between the safeties. There it is. He's got to make that catch, and he normally does.
A field goal. The Hawkeyes faked one for a touchdown last week in Champaign, but ahead by 3 in a tough defensive game. They'll settle for a 37-yard field goal by Jeff Skillett and a 6-point lead. Iowa 20, Ohio State 14. And I guess they're going to turn this one over to the Hawkeye defense.
I tell you, both defensive teams are playing pretty well right now. They really are.
Dick, now your feeling about a possible Iowa-Washington matchup.
Well, I'd say Washington would have to be favored, Brent. In watching them play, I think they have a little more overall team speed, especially on defense, and they can make the big plays on offense just like Iowa does. And they have the advantage of being on the West Coast the whole time and not having to work here for a while, then travel out there. I think Washington would be favored.
Saw a flash of that early field goal by Kansas against Nebraska. That's a former Ohio State assistant coach who is now the head coach there. Glenn Mason is coaching Kansas, and that one, of course, is very early. Nebraska, in case you were not with Roger Twibel, at halftime appears headed for the Citrus Bowl and a possible meeting with Georgia Tech. The Ramblin' Wreck with one ACC game left, and that's Wake Forest next week. And it looks as though 6 Big Ten teams are going to go bowling this year, including Indiana, which is aimed at the Peach Bowl. Skillett kicking it off, and Benote is back deep for the Buckeyes. And this is Lee. Brunelli out to the 41. Great return by Dante Lee before Jason Olenczak can whack him down.
Here is the return. Now, this guy's a little quick guy, and he has that good feet. Now, by good feet, I mean see him chop him. He can move him. He can step around people. But what a nice hit by Jason, number 13. That one smarted.
Should be Friday the 13th. Jason's unloading on you. First and 10 for the Buckeyes. It's 2014. They trail it. Closing seconds here of the third quarter. Fry handing off to his tailback. Smith with no daylight because of Jeff Nelson, number 93. And that's going to bring the third quarter to an end. We're going to return with more college football action featuring Ohio State against Iowa after this message and a word from our ABC station. The way it ought to be in Iowa. Natural grass, the wave of the future in the Big Ten. Ohio State tore up its rug. Michigan soon will do the same. Perhaps only the Dome in Minneapolis will wind up with a carpet before long. Fry on the roll, almost picked off by number 19. That was Gary Clark who stepped in.
You know, a safety coming from an inside-out position can make that play a little easier when the quarterback is rolling and pulling you in that direction, so you're running in the same direction the quarterback is pulling you, and it's a little easier to pick that ball off.
How about the tip balls?
Yeah.
Hurries and the sacks, they have been all over Greg Fry, especially here in the second half. He's 1 of 11 for 20 yards in this half, Coach.
But they did do the good thing. They got him outside the rush on that rollout.
Deep drop. He won't get out. Yes, he does, as he's going down into the arms of Jeff Nelson, and it's an incompleted pass.
There was more than one guy there involved in the pressure, but Jeff Nelson was the final sack man. He had 2 sacks coming into the ball game. We'll show you the pressure here. It originates right there. Jeff Nelson, he's an electrical engineering student. This time he's going to light up the quarterback. Good rush. He just keeps on coming. See, he just keeps on coming. Relentless rush. Good job by him.
Bowman punting for the Bucks. Great punt. And Tula bluffing the fair catch. It'll go through the end zone and come out at the 59-yard.
I love for the Fox, Hayden Fry, to come up with one of his exotics. We haven't had one since the first series of down, and it was the big play in the scoring drive. Come on, Hayden, you'll lose your reputation.
The dean of the Big Ten coaches, with Bo Schembechler having retired, and Bo, many years ago, said it was Hayden who came into the Big Ten and changed the image of the Big Two and the Little Eight. You really turned things around here.
I was talking to him about the tight calls on 4th down and all that kind of stuff, and he said when the quarterback comes over to me on those 4th and 1 calls, I always tell him, you call it. Your scholarship's longer than my contract.
There's a familiar Iowa name.
You bet.
Hartlieb. 19 bending down. That's Jimmy Hartlieb, Chuck's brother. He has been signaling in the offensive plays to Matt Rogers. This is the toss to Stewart. Student body right here in the Midwest. And Vinnie Clark tackling him.
See, that's what I was talking about earlier, Brent. They've constricted the defense. They've got him playing those butt techniques up inside. Go ahead and stretch him now and get him outside. Then come with your reverse game because they have him. I asked Tony Stewart, number 21, where he wanted to play and which team. And he said, just the NFL, coach. Any one of them that'll take me. And he will. He'll be a good one.
Second down. Stewart tackled short of the first down. A penalty flag comes flying, and while they sort this penalty out, let's check in with Roger Twibel on a Penn State update. Raj?
Thank you very much, Brent. Maryland Penn State tied at 10 at halftime. First possession, third quarter. Tony Sacca finds David Daniels. Look at the catch here. 30 yards on the touchdown reception. 17-10 Penn State. Penn State, of course, next week against Notre Dame. And speaking of the Irish, Tennessee on their first possession with a field goal. They lead it 3-0. Brent.
Oh, they love that score here in Iowa.
I'll tell you.
That's part of the scenario that would move the Hawkeyes up a little bit. It was a face mask penalty, as Coach Vermeil told you. I believe it was Tovar who was assessed at 15 yards. So the ball is moved out to the Iowa 42-yard line. Hawkeyes are up by 6, 20-14. Tedley, the stand-up tight end, over to Rogers left. And Stewart straight up the middle. Another first down and 11 more yards.
Focus your attention now on Stewart as he goes through. You'll see, follow his feet. Follow his feet. What he does, he keeps him always in a position that he can cut and move. Watch him. See how his feet are apart? He's sort of dancing through there. Keeps him clean. Never long strided. Always together and bouncing one way or the other. That's why he can run in those intense areas.
First and 10. The ball at the Buckeye 48-yard line, and Notre Dame quickly jumps ahead of the Volunteers. Stewart on a splendid cutback for another first down. 13 more yards for Stewart inside the 35.
They're getting real good pursuit. Watch out for the reverse.
Mark, how about this young man, Stewart?
Well, guys, Tony Stewart has a tattoo of a tiger with a rose in its mouth on his left calf. I asked him why a tiger with a rose in its mouth. He said he loves tigers. They're strong, they're fast, and they dominate. I asked him about the rose. He said he didn't want to say anything until after the season. I think it has something to do, though, with the Rose Bowl, fellas. What do you think?
Mark, that's not a tiger. That's a husky. Here is Stewart again. With the rose on his leg, he's tattooed out of bounds that time by Foster Polk.
By number 22.
12:43 to go here.
You know, it's amazing what the operations are performed now on the knees. You know, years ago, if a running back got a serious knee injury, he probably never played again, but now they come back and play. The big thing is the rehabilitation process.
There's Hartlieb on the sideline, sending in the play. Hayden Fry, for all intents and purposes, is truly his own offensive coordinator. He makes the decisions, and they get passed along.
Audible to it. He saw a double zone. He's going to try to work down inside of the magic.
And hit from behind and incomplete. Great defensive effort that time by Brian Cook. So the defensive back coming on the blitz makes it 3rd and 9.
You'll see he's going to get some pressure on this from the lower left-hand corner. Here he comes. Coming the outside. He's not accounted for. Gets right on around the outside, and there's Cook, and he gets him around the back and just grabs his arm. And I'll tell you, sometimes that can really hurt the quarterback's throwing arm.
3rd and 9. Hawkeyes need to get the ball to the 23-yard line for the first down. Leaded by 6. Even another Iowa field goal would be big here.
Oh!
Big hole for Montgomery. Blast to the 20-yard line. There's that play again, Coach.
Yeah, they took the fullback up in there quick. I'm not so sure if they trapped it or not. Here's a low-end shot taken at it. Now, you be the linebackers, ladies and gentlemen. You're sitting there on the couch. You make the play. Here it is. Make it. Oh, you didn't want to make the tackle either, did you? Here he is, wide open. That was a trap play. Trap play meaning they blocked, pulled a man from one side of the center, and trapped across the hole.
9 carries for 58 yards. The backs are split this time. They'll run Stewart on that draw play. He hammers to the 14-yard line. It'll be 2nd and short as the result of a good run. And Iowa's ground game beginning now to wear the Buckeyes down a bit.
You know, Stewart's just a couple hundred yards away from the all-time rushing record here.
Take a listen to this hit as Hawk was shaken up on the play. Here's the replay.
Ooh, helmet to helmet. Wow. He'll be back. Good young player. It's a sophomore from Sarasota, Florida, Riverview High School. Had 3 starts last year.
Excuse me, Dick. A lot of Ohio State fans down in Florida. Sarasota, Miami, you know.
Yeah, they get some good football players out of it. They go down there and recruit speed.
Okay.
Stemming the tight end over.
And they run Stewart back to the short side. Out of bounds at the 6-yard line. Pelini taking him out of bounds, or he might have sprinted into the end zone.
Well, see, he bent all the way back against the pressure of the defense. You'll see it from the end zone here. He starts to one side, and he bends it all the way back because the defensive end collapses too much. Doesn't have any contain. See, now watch him bend it all the way back here. See, he's pressuring that defense. There's Spellman fighting hard on that limpy and gimpy ankle.
1st and goal. Spellman hanging tough with that gimpy ankle. Hughes coming in motion behind Rogers. Stewart straight ahead and blasts his way toward that end zone.
Boy, Steve Tovar, number 58, hit him. But Tony Stewart, number 21, had a head of steam.
Stewart deserves to get the call this time, doesn't he?
Hey, when you have a
69 yards, 14 carries.
You're right, Brent. When you have a running back that's hot, give him the ball. Taking a look at that from all 22, it's a fullback kick out back, block, tailback here, offside guard pull, blocking here. Take a good look at it now. Very well designed to get the double team. There's the fullback on the kick out. We're back to action.
Montgomery goes in from the left side. Touchdown, Buckeyes.
Here's that same play that took him down to the 1-foot line. A good double, a good kick-out block. Now, good contact. He got his pads down. Stovar is trying to stop him from getting in the end zone. He does it. Now here's the touchdown.
Montgomery with 59 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Iowa will go for 2. Leading 26-14 with 11 minutes to go. They'll go for 2, Dick.
Normally, I think they like to get some kind of an option on this play. They've been successful 2 for 2. Here's the option. Reverse
back
option.
to Hughes. Hughes is trapped, and they will not get it. 26-14 as the 2-point play fails, and the Hawkeyes will kick it off. Lance Price and Rich Frimmel deserve credit for stopping that 2-point attempt. But the Hawkeyes are ahead and inching closer and closer to Pasadena New Year's Day. We'll be right back. Well, we'll see that next one if Tommy Maddox can solve that tough Washington defense. Here, Iowa ahead. And Skillett kicks it off. Fielded at the 6 by Benote to the 20. Out to the 29-yard line. This is a day that Iowa could clinch a tie for the Big Ten championship, and the scenario is unfolding in their direction. They're ahead. Illinois is losing to Michigan 22-17, and Michigan State has jumped ahead of Minnesota 7-0. So everything is coming up roses for the Hawkeyes here this afternoon. 10:57 to go now in the game. And Ohio State badly in need of another one of those ricocheted big plays.
They have their young offensive line in on the strong side right now, and Rod Smith, a redshirt freshman, and Winrow, a freshman, both over 300 pounds.
Fly on first down, throws complete to the 35-yard line. And Likovich, the tight end, was the receiver that time, with Tennessee kicking its second field goal to make that up 1-pointer.
They have a tremendous number of young, talented players in this Ohio State program. Right now, I think there's only 2 seniors on the field offensively.
But not a conference game. Will not affect Georgia Tech's bid for the Citrus Bowl. So Jeff Graham in motion. Greg Fry rolling. Now going for the bomb and incomplete. Stabline, the wide receiver, complaining that he was interfered with inside the 15-yard line.
That was good pattern design. They ran a man in motion, and it forced a safety to be covering a wide receiver in a man-to-man situation. Now you'll see him coming down and getting on the safety, number 15, Brian Wise. You like that kind of a matchup, a safety against a wide receiver. He's normally in positions to cover tight ends. He has the step, but it's just a little overthrown. And not bad coverage either. It would take the perfect throw.
There was a penalty flag, but not the one Stabline wanted. It was back at the line of scrimmage.
You're going to call hugging or holding?
Holding.
Holding.
Offense. Repeat second down.
It has been uphill for the Buckeyes.
Give it to him, Coop. He ain't going to listen to you anyway, but give it to him.
It's already had an unsportsmanlike penalty call on that far sideline.
You got to get after him once in a while. See, the officials go home on Monday and make a living doing something else.
10:15 left here in Kinnick Stadium in Iowa City. Fly rolling to the left, cut off. He's going to throw back to Robert Smith on the screen here on the near side, and Smith is out of bounds at the 31-yard line.
Clever play. It looked like it was going to be much bigger play from up here. Good speed by the defense. You'll see that they're going to fake here like this, and then he'll sneak out and come in the screen and get his offensive lineman over here to the right. See, now he's going to fake it. Now he fakes it to him. He picks up a little block there. Now look at him get off it. He comes in the screen, just like he's coached to do. He gets in the screen wall. It appears there's a lot of room, but good pursuit.
And Foster, the linebacker, doing a good job. Good backside protection that time. Fly, the running back split. Straight back. And sacked again. Matt Rulin, number 57.
I think that's his 3rd sack on the day, and he came into the game with only 4. Excellent job by Matt Rulin. He is fired up. He is fired up. You can see Foster, 66, dropping out of there. Running back getting out of the pattern. He set, it's taken away, and then here he comes. He beat Lenny Hartman, number 52.
Bowman.
Nice punt.
Hits it at the 13. And Tula driven back inside Iowa's 25. And the return is out to the 33. 9:15, and the Hawkeyes leading it 26-14. penalty marker being sorted out on that far side.
I don't know how many we've had today, but there's too many.
Against the receiving team. So we'll take a break. And when you come back, it'll be the Hawkeyes 26 and the Buckeyes 14.
Illegal use of hands.
Mark Jones, I'm Brent Musburger. That's the time remaining. And you can see how the Hawkeyes have dominated this one. Their magical, mystical tour of the Big Ten continues. Who would have thought this possible when the season began? Most experts predicting Iowa would wind up in the middle of the pack. Now the only unbeaten team in the conference. They go to work on the clock with Tony Stewart operating a tailback. Gets out to the 25, and Herman tackling him there for the Buckeyes.
Judah Herman did a nice job of holding his position backside and keeping the ball just slightly in front of him, so if it did come back, he was there in position to make the play. Good discipline by Judah Herman.
No team in the history of the Big Ten has ever beaten Michigan, Michigan State, Illinois, and Ohio State in the same year. And Iowa forced to do it the hard way. This their lone home game in that sequence. Jay Cook making the stop for the Buckeyes. And here is a man, Dick, who has really played a whale of a game, Lou Montgomery.
Well, you know why USA Today picked him as a state player of the year coming out of high school. Waterloo, Iowa. He's a good football player.
He has not met his Waterloo here this afternoon. 3rd down and 2. Man, Waterloo used to be a tough place for me to umpire in, Coach.
You umpired, huh?
Yeah. All these Iowa and Illinois towns. Rogers coming around the right side toward that 1st down marker.
Yeah,
and Jason Simmons tackling him.
Did you see that option play? The very first option play ever run in a college football game was run against Ohio State in 1941. Don Farrow at the University of Missouri designed the play, got the idea from watching a basketball practice. When they ran a fast break, a 2-and-1, he applied that principle to a quarterback being in a 2-and-1 situation with a running back and flip it to him, put it in his offense, ran it against Ohio State. Paul Brown coached football team. Hey, a little trivia for you.
Yes, it is. I didn't know that.
Yeah, learn something every day. Stick by me.
You've been studying a little bit.
You know what happened, though? His 2 assistants in the Navy team he coached here in Iowa, the Seahawk Navy team during the Second World War, were Bud Wilkinson, okay? Bud Wilkinson took it to Oklahoma. Made it famous because he recruited a little better.
Yeah, like about 47 straight times he made it famous, I guess.
But really, that's how the option. It came off the basketball floor, the original idea.
Well, on 4th and short, Hayden Fry not in the mood to gamble. Isaac onto the field. Low snap. Buckeyes block it. The blocked punt. And it'll be Ohio State ball. It's picked up by Iowa. Chance for the 1st down. They fumble it. And the Buckeyes finally pick it up, and it'll be whistled dead. It'll be whistled dead back at the 45-yard line. That was Foster Polk, number 22, who blocked that punt. But a Hawkeye alertly picked it up and saved some valuable yardage. Olenzak is the Iowa player who scooped it up.
All right, I think the rusher came from right here. Foster Polk, number 22. I think he came underneath. There it is, coming underneath. No, it was the next man to the inside. It was a low snap. Still had enough time to get it off if you blocked that properly. That's the first block punt on the season for Jim Heisack. Here's another look at it. I'll tell you, when you get a punt block, it's always disastrous. There's the low snap. See, now that took him much longer to get the ball off. You want to get that punted in about 2 seconds. He could not do it in that situation.
And the ball could not be advanced beyond the 24. The Buckeyes will put it in play there. 1st and 10. Robert Smith hit at the 21-yard line by Rod Davis. We can't say enough about the interior of this Iowa defense here this afternoon. Number 54, Rod Davis, is hanging tough with 57 Matt Ruland and 71 Jim Johnson. They have played a whale of a game on the interior of this hand-holding defense here this afternoon. Wouldn't that be a shocker? Second down. Still plenty of time left at 6:47.
Audible's checking out.
5 seconds left to get it off. Fry rolling to the right. Batted ball again. Derby, number 31.
That is Derby's second batted ball. You'll remember we mentioned that. Now he was audibling because of the defense he saw. He didn't like the run that he had called. He changed it. He thought he was going to get one-on-one situation. You see the quarterback audible to the right. He audibling to the right. Gives the signal. Now he turns to the left. Normally, yes, he gives his signal. Make sure everybody's knowing. Still didn't get it done. Good job on defense by Derby.
It is 3rd down and 7 yards for the Buckeyes. They have to get to the 13-yard line for a first down.
I'd look for some pressure coming here now. I don't think they'll drop off play. Yeah, they're going to come. They're coming after him.
Trying to get him. Fry.
He got
touchdown. Hits Olive at the goal line, and he backs into the end zone. The big play again for Ohio State, Coach.
Outside receiver of a slot formation. The inside receiver controls the safety. Gets one-on-one on the corner. He throws to the left of your screen. The post pattern. Here he comes back. Sets up, 5-step drop, fires it. You'll note no safety inside him. He was controlled by the slot man. Excellent catch again by Bobby Allen. He's had a whale of a game.
Down by 6. They'll go for the 1 in this situation. Hoping to close to within 5. And that sets up some drama here at Iowa City. A 5-point game. Iowa 26, Ohio State 21, 6.5 minutes to play. Meetings, Ohio State has beaten Iowa 20 times, lost twice, and tied 1. And if you're an Iowa backer, you've got to be just a touch nervous because of that history right now. Hughes and Antula are back deep. Williams to kick it off for the Buckeyes. 6.5 minutes to go. Hughes at the 10. Down at the 23-yard line, where it will be 1st and 10, Coach, in a huge series for Iowa.
Again, taking a look at that touchdown pass. The slot receiver here went down and went to the post, and that froze the safety just enough to allow Bobby Olive to go inside and not get any help from the defender. He went in on Merton Hanks. You'll see this as we go now. Now watch the safety at the top of your screen freeze on that post. See, he takes those pedal moves to the inside, and there it is. The little things make a difference. Here's another look now. Here's another look. See him freeze his safety? Now he's single outside. Merton Hanks goes to bat it down, didn't make it.
As the result, it's a 5-point lead. Rogers on first down, throws to Montgomery at the 25. Montgomery out to the 31-yard line. And for an update, let's check in with Roger Twyble. Roger?
Well, Brent, we're about 25 minutes from kickoff in Seattle. Second-ranked Washington will take on UCLA. Greg Lewis, of course, 137 yards a game, rushing 8 touchdowns this year. And he has rushed for over 100 yards in every game this year. The only other Pac-10 back to do that all season was Marcus Allen. Now, I want to update you on a score right now. Virginia Tech with a 22-yard field goal by Mickey Thomas leads Georgia Tech with 8 minutes left in that game. Brent.
All right, here it's 26-21. Iowa with a 5-point lead and 5:48 to go. Nick Bell, the ball carrier, and Steve Tovar hitting him defensively, but it was good for the first down for the Hawkeyes. The chains move, and what Hayden Fry wants in this situation is a ball control drive that results in a touchdown. What John Cooper wants on the far sideline is either a defensive turnover or 3 quick downs and an out. Ohio State, remember, used a timeout very early in the second half. They are down to 2 right now. Rogers hands to Bell, and he makes his way to the 40-yard line, where it'll be 2nd down and 5.
Bell doesn't look, to me, today as crisp as he looked on tape last week against Illinois. To me, as I look down in the field, Stewart has been the guy that supplied the spark on all the running plays. I'd go back to Stewart. You know, you have good days and bad days.
Or hand the ball to the fullback, Montgomery.
He doesn't look like he's flashing today, does he, to you?
No, he looks like he's trying to read daylight.
Yeah. Audible.
Second down. Rodgers to throw it. Has plenty of time.
Got a broken play if he throws
down the middle. Oh, intercepted by number 1 Lance Price. The Buckeyes with a chance here. 4.5 minutes to go, and Price gives Ohio State the turnover they've been looking for.
Way too much time. First, you never throw the ball late down the middle. You just never do that. And this young man hasn't done it. Like you said, he hadn't thrown an interception in the Big Ten in the last 4 games coming into here. See, too much time. Now he throws it late down the middle. Cardinal sin of quarterbacking. All right, now you got to suck it up, defense. Good job by Ohio State's defense.
1st and 10, Ohio State. Ball at the Iowa 44. 4.5 minutes. 5-point Iowa lead. Graham in motion. Fly to throw on 1st down. Over the middle, complete to Ryan, who's whacked at the 30-yard line. But it's another Ohio State 1st down.
Good play action. You'll notice Fry comes out to make the play action fake. He extends the ball. He wants everybody to see it. See him extend it out there. Now he takes it, puts it on the hip, has a crossing pattern. He's frozen the linebackers. He throws it. Here it is. Now watch the hit. Wham! But Bobby Olive's the player of the game for Ohio State today. He's really playing well.
4 catches, 73 yards for number 8. Ball at the Iowa 30. Robert Smith. Down at the 26-yard line.
I've seen Greg Fry so many times play. If I were his coach, I would have great confidence in him at this time. I've seen him come back and beat LSU on final plays and rally them against Michigan when they're out of it by 27, 28 points. He just seems to rise to that occasion.
Olive back into the game, as is Dante Lee.
Boy, this is gut check time for Iowa defense.
3.5 minutes to go. Buckeyes on the move and trailing it by 5. Fry twists out of trouble, but he's down at the 35.
Again, trying to run the option to the short side of the formation, the split end side. You'll see what I mean. The pressure appears quickly. He fakes to the fullback. He comes off the fakes. He's going to come off the fake, and bang, here comes the pressure right now. He doesn't have time. Good job by Jimmy Johnson, number 71. You can see why he was all Big Ten last year. Sacks, 3 sacks, 6 hurries, 3 tip balls. Boy, that was a big, big play by Johnson.
3rd down and 15.
We're having trouble hearing down there.
Fry with a deep drop. Looks to the middle, incomplete. Ohio State down to its 4th down. And again, it was number 31, John Derby.
He is a player, isn't he? You know, he came here as a running back. He ran 1,780 yards, 30 touchdowns. And he's playing linebacker. No wonder he's a good linebacker. I think we're going to be able to see the tip here. Now, Derby was lined up to the left of your screen. Now he's going to flash in. Here he comes. Here he comes. See him flashing in here, watching the quarterback's eye. That's the 3rd time today he has batted a pass. Outstanding defense by Derby. No wonder the coach was excited about him the other day.
Ohio State had to use another timeout. The 25-second clock down to 4 seconds. And this will bring the Buckeyes to their last timeout. For all intents and purposes, this game is coming down to 1 play when you return. Yards for Ohio State. The ball is at the Iowa 34-yard line. They need to get to the 18. Edwards is in the slot to the quarterback's left. Fly under pressure, steps away from it, throws to the goal line, intercepted by Iowa.
Ryan Wise. No, that was Jason.
intercepts in the end zone. What a fabulous moment for the Hawkeyes here with 2.5 minutes to go. And Cooper talking to Benny Clark.
Well, Ohio State has to just think about getting pressure on him. Just come after him, try to create the turnover, stunt inside, just get after him.
Here's Stewart. 2nd and 10.
Taking a look at this from all 22 now, you'll see to the right side of your screen is the safety, Jason, number 13. Olenzak that makes the play. Gets back there. He's just sitting in the hole waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. Here comes the crossing pattern. There he is. He goes up after the ball, catches it at his highest points just like he's coached to. Jason Olenzak, a pre-med student. Smart young man playing safety, and he played that ball nicely. Up for its highest point.
Nobody ever operated any slicker than Olenzak did on that play right there.
He did a nice job.
Inside of 2 minutes now, and Iowa will try to hold on to that football. Stewart down at the 15-yard line. Ohio State with only 1 timeout to go. 1:39 to go.
Ohio State is still going to get the ball back. On the sideline, they've got to be organized, really getting their hurry-up offense all set, squared away. It's exactly what they're going to do.
I know many of you are shocked that Northwestern didn't accomplish that. Minute 19. 3rd down and 15 yards. And Montgomery down right there with the final timeout. And now how those 2 other timeouts loom so important for John Cooper. In this situation, wouldn't you go all out and try to block the punt if they got anything to lose?
They've already done it once. They've already done it once. Go ahead. You're going to get the ball back. Iowa State has no timeouts. Ohio State, rather, excuse me.
You're taking these Cyclones timeouts away, too.
Yeah, taking them around, too. You're going to make a mistake, make a big one.
Well, a reminder that at the conclusion of today's game, we'll select a Chevrolet Most Valuable Player from each team for the 20th year through the Chevrolet Scholarship Program. $1,000 will be donated to the General Scholarship Fund of each school. Hope you've enjoyed it, and regardless of what happens here this afternoon, next Saturday's game between Purdue and Iowa will be a big one for that man, Hayden Fry. Steve Breaux is the long snapper. And that will follow us as soon as this one ends. Isaac standing inside the 5, and contact made in the line. A 5-yard penalty will not give Iowa a first down.
See now, Brent, that long snap should get back to the punter in 0.8 of a second. The punter will have 1.2 seconds to get it off. They get it off in that rhythm, it should not be blocked.
So the ball is marched off to the 21-yard line. Minute 4 to go. Jeff Graham, a big play man, standing back near midfield. The ghosts of Ohio State past trying to haunt Iowa one more time. He gets off a low one. Fair catch at the 49, and the clock is stopped with 59 seconds. But sideline patterns are the order of the day. They'll have to get the clock stopped.
See, the big thing now with the sideline patterns, the defense will be designed to keep everything inside. Keep everything inside. They'll throw the ball up inside. They don't have the timeout, so they've got to hurry up and get it. The one thing, if they do get the 10-yard gain, the clock will stop as they move the chains. That's one advantage.
Edwards, Graham, and Olive are the wide receivers. The offensive line without the tight end. And Fry under pressure on the run, throws complete. Once he goes down and they move the chains, now the clock is stopped at 50 seconds, but they'll have to hurry. They are down to the 25-yard line.
Leroy Smith came in from the backside. They better get him blocked because he's all over him.
Clock can be stopped this year by a college quarterback throwing it straight down. He's restarted. Fry pulls out, again complete, and that is short of the first down. The chains were not completely moved on the far side. Clock continues to move. Ohio State out of timeouts.
30 seconds. 29.
Second down and 3 yards for a first down. Fly. Incomplete. Stops the clock with 20 seconds to go. So, Vermeil, you be the coach.
Let me breathe.
What happens now?
I'm excited, Coach. Oh, my God. Here's Jimmy Coletto right there in the middle. He's going to make the decision along with Cooper and Coach Huey right there. Here's the reaction that last play. Hey, that don't bite too deep, Coop.
It has been a nail biter here in Iowa City.
It has been an ending.
3rd and 3. The ball is at the 18. 20 seconds to go. Graham, Edwards, and Olive. Talented wide receivers. Fry with time. Complete to Graham. 1st and goal at the 2. Clock stops with 13. Buckeyes with a chance to win it. 13 seconds to go. Now the clock starts. Scotty Graham and Robert Smith. The fade incomplete, stops it with 7 seconds to go.
You know, if he'd have thrown that fade pattern a little more accurately at that time, he might have had it. Oh, Coach Hayden Fry. You see what I mean? Take a look at this. If this fade was thrown perfectly, he had a shot at making the reception to the left-hand side of your receiver. He's out there in good position.
Ohio State will operate with a tight end. They're at the 3-yard line. No timeouts. Fly to throw. Touchdown, Ohio State. Olive. With 1 second on the clock, the Buckeyes haunt Iowa one more time. A stunned Hayden Fry. With Olive catching his 2nd touchdown pass of the game. The jubilant Buckeyes. 27-26, Ohio State up by a point.
You can see they come with their basic play action pass. Olive was the outside man outside the slot. He came inside, the slot man went outside. He hit him right where he had to, way out in front. He dove for the football. Excellent execution in a pressure situation. Again, Greg Fry coming up with the play he needed to get it.
And from the far side, Cooper's reaction.
Watch out for your back, Coop. Oh, man. I wish I could describe that feeling. I have been there. It is a gut-wrencher.
That back is completely healed, and for that man, the agony of coming so close. And now the Hawkeyes will have to reload, because what this means is that Iowa must beat Purdue and Minnesota. Now, if they do, they will stay a half game ahead of Ohio State, because Buckeye fans must remember the Indiana game. That was the one they tied. Ohio State has lost already to Illinois, so they have a loss and a tie. This would be the Hawkeyes' first loss, and so no one still has been able to accomplish that. But remember, the ball is live on an extra point, and who knows? Maybe there's time for one last miracle here in Kinnick Stadium.
You go back to the block punt. Well, you get a punt blocked in a football game, it is normally disaster, especially if the two teams are pretty evenly matched. And I really think the best football team today was Iowa, but the best football team doesn't always win.
High marks to Cooper and the Buckeyes for never surrendering here.
You bet.
They're going to run. They'll sit on the snap, so an extra point run back cannot be made. They do not want to put the ball in play. That's why they elected to kill it right there. Because of the rule, if the extra point had been blocked, it would have been a live ball, and Iowa could have run it back for the tying point. So 1 and 2 are not really different.
Well, there's been a lot of pressure on Coach Cooper. You know, in Ohio State football, you're evaluated every day on every week, and you're only as good as your last game. This should take a little of the heat off him because he's done a good job there, and they are a very young football team. In fact, both of these football teams are still very young football teams.
A crusher for Hayden Fry and the Hawkeyes. Now he must get his team ready for Purdue, which comes in here next week. And then on the last Saturday of the regular season, another nemesis awaits Iowa, and that's Minnesota.
He'll bring him back. Hayden will bring him back. You know what he's doing right now? He's thinking about that last series he had the ball and didn't make the first down. Did I call the right things? Why did I call? I should have done this. You start second guessing everything you did on those 3 series, and it drives you crazy. You can stay in coaching when you can turn those thoughts off 2 days later. The reason I'm standing next to you 10 days later is I'm still thinking about what I should have done on 3rd down.
Because of the celebration, the penalty is assessed here on the kickoff. So the ball is moved all the way back to the 20-yard line. And so, now, if Iowa just had a trombone player from Stanford standing down in that end zone. What I wouldn't give for the band, they're saying, marching out here in the last second. We may set a new record for laterals on this kickoff. A bouncer. And Tula at the 30. Lateral man, number 1. Number 2 to Hughes. Hughes. Forward level there. Forward level. There's the flag. That's forward. There's number 4. And he's up.
All forward passes.
There's 5 over his head and out.
Yeah, they're all forward laterals.
And John Cooper and the Buckeyes win a big win. Hayden Fry graciously congratulating Coach Cooper. Buckeyes are still in the driver's seat, but not as much breathing room. We're coming right back.
Hey, Jenny, come show your granddad how to set